Hey!
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the McDonCast, the funnest podcast in town, the only podcast around. Hey!
Woo!
That's our new. We're gonna say hey before and after the intro now.
I like the idea that our intro just slowly evolves into us going like, hey!
It hasn't ever changed in the million times we've done. No.
Well, we didn't have an intro.
We added the only podcast around bit, but we added that fairly early on.
No, I can't remember when we started.
Because we stole that bit from Gus and Eddie, and then they
canceled their podcast.
Yeah, then their podcast is gone now, so now it's ours. Now it's our bit.
Did we steal that from them?
Yeah.
Oh.
They used to joke that they were the only pod. No. We stole that from Drew Gooden.
We stole that from Drew Gooden, but
yeah,
he was just from his channel.
He said he was the only YouTube channel.
Yeah,
we decided we're the only podcast.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, it's totally legal. It's legally distinct.
Legally distinct. Apple didn't trademark it.
They didn't.
Why didn't they do that?
Because they didn't think about it.
Forget?
That kinda, yeah, basically.
that's
also,
amazing.
it was kind of nebulous to define. What is a podcast?
It's two guys talking.
So is every radio show ever.
Well, that's what it was. It's just, podcasts are just radio.
Yeah, that's why it was nebulous to define. Because how is a radio show not a podcast?
Well, because it's broadcast over airwaves.
So are
radio
podcasts sometimes.
No, they're not.
They are.
No.
Yeah.
Although they are streaming on Netflix.
If you
now.
stream one over Wi-Fi, how is that different?
Well, they're doing.
Is the distance to the router the difference?
I guess. I don't know.
That
What's
doesn't
the difference
make
between
sense.
anything on the internet and anything broadcast over radio?
That's kind of the whole reason why I don't think they really trademarked it.
Have you seen that Netflix has started to put podcasts on there?
What podcasts are on there?
It's just whatever the top 20 most popular podcasts are. There she goes.
So they got Joe Rogan on Netflix.
They don't
now?
have Joe Rogan on Netflix. They have
because he signed that $100 million $100 million Spotify deal.
But they have licensed a bunch of Spotify shows from The Ringer, I think. So
what even is that?
They have Bill Simmons on there.
I don't know who that is. Yeah. Who's Bill Simmons?
He's a sports guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
My point is that I think Netflix is trying to signal to the government that they're like YouTube.
No, they're trying.
So they're like, hey, we have podcasts and YouTube has podcasts.
No, they have correctly identified that they are a completely stagnant market, and they are doing anything they can to try and boost engagement and boost.
I feel bad for those podcasts because it's going to tank their growth. No one's going to Netflix to look for podcasts.
Netflix could just jack the algorithm to boost podcasts.
It doesn't even matter if they're at the top. If no one is going to Netflix looking for podcasts. They're going to YouTube.
That's true, but
they're not going to shift that by putting 20 random.
People
shows
also
on
didn't
there.
used to go to Spotify for podcasts. They didn't used to go to YouTube for podcasts. You could only watch them on podcasts. So the space kind of changes.
I mean, that is true, but Spotify was an audio-based platform, and Spotify and podcasts were audio-based.
Yeah, there was more connective tissue there.
Before they transitioned to video, there was that made more sense there.
I would argue that now, second screen viewing and a podcast are literally the exact same thing. There's no difference between whatever Netflix action background slop they're producing versus listening to Joe Rogan talk about how he got high with a monkey one time.
I want to see if you've actually heard of any of these. This would be do you listen to podcasts?
I listen to The WAN Show.
Is that the Linus
Tech Tips? That's the Linus Tech Tips one, and I listen to... That's really the only one I have time for anymore. I used to listen to more podcasts. I used to listen to Trash Taste a lot. I still, every once in a while, I'll tap in and see what they're up to.
I mean, you just put them on while you're driving or whatever.
Yeah, but one WAN show is 4 hours long, so that lasts me a good week.
That's no podcast show.
That's a good week of drive listening to have.
All right, let's see. Just real quick. Have you heard of the Rewatchables?
No.
The last podcast on the left.
I think I may have heard someone talk about that one time.
Pardon my take?
Got nothing on that.
Okay.
Are they hosted by people that I would hear? Have heard of?
These I haven't even. Spittin' Chicklets. It's gotta be a sports thing. Right?
I don't know. What is a chicklet?
Murder with My Husband. I'm guessing that's a true.
That's crime. That's a true crime podcast.
Small Town Murder.
That's
you've heard of My Favorite Murder. That's the most famous one.
I have never listened to a true crime podcast.
I don't listen to them either. But that when everyone when true crime podcasts were like became a thing, that was like
I completely avoided that whole space.
Right.
I was like, this seems really dumb.
The Breakfast Club. You've probably seen.
I think I've heard of that
Twitter.
one. Yeah.
It's with Charlemagne the God. Pete Davidson has a Netflix exclusive podcast.
Okay.
That can't be listened to. Okay, well, the dumb thing about it is that they're video only. You can't turn the app and put it in your pocket and listen like on the go.
Why not?
The Netflix like video player won't let you do that.
It will let you do that with regular shows.
Yeah,
because I've turned it. It'll turn off initially, but then you know how there's the little play button that pops up.
Yeah,
you can just hit play and then it'll start.
They haven't
playing
set up
again.
Netflix to do it like it's Spotify, where you can just close the app down and it'll just keep playing. Like you have to do that. Like it's not
you have to like tap the screen and then press play again. But like it
will
will do it if you make it.
It's just dumb that they put podcasts on there and then didn't design their app UI to be accessible.
It should change when you are listening to a podcast.
That's the whole point, is that you turn it off and then you pause it, you put it in your pocket, you just keep like listening to it in parts.
Yeah, well, okay, that's good for. I mean, that honestly, at this point in Netflix's history, that makes a lot of sense, because again, they have so heavily invested in background listening that like that is the ultimate background noise.
Way more sense than when they tried to get you to play Candy Crush on
Netflix.
Like
Netflix gaming makes way less sense to me than Netflix podcasts. Like at least those are both like.
I don't know.
Like you can passively listen to those.
What was the thinking there?
Game Pass existed. They were like, "Can we be Game Pass?"
But like,
and then the answer was no.
No.
And even Game Pass, the answer was no. We can't even be Game Pass.
We'll talk about it later on the show. But
speaking of Game Pass, they're dying.
We have a lot of gaming because, speaking of it later in the show, Netflix is now more invested in video games, or they're about to be, than they ever have been. So
yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Let me give you guys a brief rundown of what we have for you guys today. Warner Brothers keeps Warner-ing their brothers. They just won't stop Warnering.
So we didn't have a main topic this week because Sam didn't see Wuthering Heights. I didn't even check with you. I just know you didn't.
No, I did not.
So
I did. I watched some other stuff though.
Well, maybe we could talk about it at the
end.
I
finished Wonder Man.
Okay.
I'm one episode behind on Hedge Knight. I need to catch up on Hedge Knight.
Well, the finale is tomorrow, so we're going to talk about that next week. But I thought this week, since we didn't have a big main topic, I thought we'd finally devote the time to breaking down the whole Paramount Warner's.
Yeah, Netflix it keeps deal. Getting weirder and weirder every week. Okay, we got Sony Pictures continuing to announce that they are still taking forever to do everything.
There's been a lot of headlines coming out of their animation department.
I don't even know what the headlines are. I just assume they're announcing that everything's delayed.
It'll be a fun surprise.
Because everything's always delayed with them, which is fine because it's usually fine at the end of it, but we'll see what happens.
Sort of.
PlayStation State of Play and Xbox State of Decay. We'll see what's up with that. Apple buys Severance. Why is this even? That's nothing.
We're just gonna talk about it briefly.
And then we got a bunch of trailers, a lot of cool trailers actually.
Some cool trailers. I was just gonna say, I think it would be funny if Xbox did just start doing State of Decay presentations.
State of Decline.
They just every couple of months they come out and they're like, "This is canceled. This is canceled.
Yo,
we fired this person.
We amputated our legs today. Every staff employee, no more legs for them. Today we decided we are going to remove the fingers of our coders. No more fingers for them. AI code only. They will code by talking to the computer. We're canceling the
internet service. We're gonna see what we can get done without it.
We're replacing the game with internet. It's just there's no game part. It's just the live service part. So it just connects to the internet and there's no game.
There's a bunch of trailers this week, Sam. Which one do you want to talk about first? I know you haven't watched at least 3 of these.
We can talk about Mandalorian and Grogu.
Okay, let's talk about the Mandalorian Grogu.
Get things started off with some Star Wars. It's been a while since we had any real meat of Star Wars stuff to talk about, which was a year ago.
The last
Maul was the last Star Wars thing we got, but that was kind of a smaller scale.
You mean the Maul's not out yet?
No, I mean in terms of like just stuff to talk about Star Wars wise. There hasn't really been a lot.
The last Star Wars thing we got was the Tales of the Underworld show in May of last year.
Yeah, May the 4th last year.
Which I think they're done with those. I don't think they're doing another one.
Yeah, they did Tales of the Dark Side, they did Tales of the Jedi, and that's the three biggest like components.
They could have done more, but I think it was like viewership was on the decline.
Maybe see like a Tales of the Republic, and we get like a political drama thing, or maybe like Tales of the Rebellion. I could see that. Tales of the Old
Republic, Tales of the Sith.
They won't do it. They won't do anything Old Republic for a while. I
mean, they've got 85. I mean, I guess they
honestly. At this point, I think I'm just considering the Old Republic stuff canon. That seems to be Dave Filoni's MO. He just like has slowly been recanonizing all of the Old Republic stuff through like
Darth Bane
dialogue
stuff in Clone Wars, isn't there, in the Yoda arc?
Yes, but they changed him significantly in ways that do meaningfully change at least the story that we understand to be Darth Bane's story.
You do have to keep in mind that you were one of 11 people that read the actual Darth Vader.
Yeah,
books.
so
Dave Filoni probably hasn't even read those.
In the show, he has like almost like samurai armor, right, and then like a glaive weapon.
He kind of had a Darth Vader kind of thing going on.
In the books, he did have a suit of armor, but it was made of like bugs that were like fused to his skin.
Okay, but wasn't he like a ghost in that episode? It wasn't like
he was, but the ghost was a physical man. It was a manifestation of what he's supposed to look like, and he's nowhere, at least in the books, did he ever look that way. So I mean, maybe he could have just worn that outfit one day and then never again, and then that his ghost just looks like that for some reason. But that's not really the point.
That's not the point.
But like even with the Exegol Sith legions all being named after like Old Republic Sith characters, and the Eye of Sion is a Sith Lord from the Old Republic. That was like the hyperspace thing from the Ahsoka show. Like he's just been slowly like trickling Old Republic stuff into Star Wars.
Well, they've been trying to get various Old Republic stuff off the ground for like 2 decades at this point.
Which I'm confused why they did High Republic at all, because like 1, no one cares. 2, Old Republic already existed.
The goal of the High Republic was to see if anyone would care. It was just like, look at these are ideas. You like any of this?
They did have some cool. I don't think the High Republic gets enough credit for what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem with the High Republic was the way that they were pitching it, which is one, guys, it's super peaceful and everyone's happy and chilling and vibing. That's like, number one, that's not an accurate representation of the stories that take place at that time period that they made. 2, that doesn't sound like a fun thing to watch. It's like, wow, I can't wait to watch the Nothing Ever Happened show.
I think their problem with the High Republic stuff was that they did too much with it. It was this big initiative across like everything. It
was too much too fast.
Whereas going to be the show coming, and then there's the books, and then there's the young adult books, and then there's the kids stuff in the comic. I think they should have just done started with just 3 novels. Just done that, and then if that worked, do some comics.
My second biggest problem.
They shotgunned it all out at once. To where I read the first book.
Yeah,
I think we both.
So did I.
And we were like, "This is cool."
No,
I'll probably come back to this, but it was way too much for me to ever catch up.
My second biggest problem is that it wasn't consistent what each thing was. Like the first book and the second book are not related at all.
No,
there's like a massive time jump,
200-year gap between
and they just like ignore. Like there are still characters from the previous book, but they're like, it's clearly been a few years, and like nothing they were doing in the first book matters anymore. And I was like, then what? Because the first book,
I think they come back around to
the first book leaves off on a cliffhanger, and they're like, oh my god, the coolest Jedi general guy was kidnapped, and now his Padawan has to save him, but he kind of sucks, and then the Nihil are doing their thing, and they're all rallied and ready to go, and then in the next book it's like, anyways, the air conditioner on this planet broke, and we have to use the Force to fix it. And I was like, what? I don't care about that at all.
Anyway,
that means nothing to me.
We do have to talk about the Mandalorian Grogu, although no one in America or the world cares. This is coming out Memorial Day weekend. Get hype. We're gonna see this, Sam.
Woo!
Patrick's gonna come on the show to talk about it.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. So they put out that Super Bowl ad. That was the Budweiser Clydesdales parody, and everyone hated it.
Yeah, that was stupid. That was really dumb.
That was a clear mistake.
It was really lame.
And then I think they realized that. I don't think they were planning on releasing this trailer now. I think they were going to hold it for a little bit, and then I think they saw that everyone hated
This should have just been the Super Bowl trailer.
And they saw that everyone hated the Super Bowl ad, and they were like, okay, we got to put up the trailer.
Yeah, because what even was that?
Because I also think they intentionally put several shots in this of Pedro Pascal with the helmet off.
Yeah.
I think they're in full panic mode.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have some long-range tracking that we don't have.
I think we do. I think we both know that this is.
I think the number is way
more
lower
or less
than
a doomed project.
Yeah, and they're just like, let people know this is a real movie.
We have said from the beginning that this is
a bad idea.
Not the right move to bring Star Wars back to theaters. I think it made sense. The calculation they made when they were like, okay, this is the only popular thing that we have right now. Everyone vaguely remembers the first season. What if that but theater? That wasn't like a terrible
it's not the
equation.
Worst idea they've ever had.
But it's clearly not the right. I don't think that was the right move, regardless.
Maybe it could have been if they had a story that was worthy of the theatrical. This is clearly just
this is an afterthought.
This is clearly going to be 3 episodes of the show stitched together into 2 hours.
Everyone who watched the first season and fell off doesn't care.
No.
Everyone who didn't fall off and finished the show knows that this is nonsense. Knows that this is an afterthought and this is not related. Yeah. This is nothing. So like, neither part of the audience that I think they're relying on are super motivated to watch this movie.
This would have made a lot more sense and probably been a lot more exciting 4 years ago, when the show was still hot and had juice.
Yeah.
I mean, like, dude, this thing has been over for 3 years.
This should have just been the finale to the show. This should have been the ending of the second season.
I mean, the show should have never had a 3rd season.
No, I disagree. The 3rd season and the 2nd season should have just been swapped.
Yeah, that's not a terrible argument either.
The 2nd season, like, because clearly that ending is what the ending of the show was clearly supposed to be.
The second they had the idea of undoing the ending of the 2nd season in a spin-off show about Boba Fett,
it was clear that they just did not know what to do with this property.
That was wraps. That was game over for this whole enterprise.
And I don't even hate what they were doing with them as separate characters. It was complete character annihilation to reunite them.
Well, yeah, because it was clearly like Favreau was like, here's my 2-season pitch. At the end of the 2nd season, he's going to go away with Luke, and that's it. And then Disney came in and was like, but people love Baby Yoda.
Because we
can't make the show without Baby Yoda.
I think Din Djarin kind of more or less stumbling into the role of like Mandalore and then having to like kind of figure out what that even means is kind of a cool idea.
But even then, he
was clearly never meant to be that big of a scale of a character.
Background in his own show.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Because they chose to not pursue that story. They chose to go back to season 1 Mandalorian, even though he should have just been the guy doing the Mandalore stuff. He should have just been doing Mandalore stuff.
Well, again, I think what happened was
if we leave the 2nd season where it is untouched, and we do want to keep going,
just
commit to that direction.
I think it was a thing where like I think Favreau's pitch was 2 seasons and then I'm out.
Yeah,
because he's been doing this now since 2018 when he signed on to do Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. So he's been in the Star Wars world for 8 years, and he's not like he likes to do different stuff. So I think he was tired. I think he came in. His original thing was 2 seasons, and then that'll be it. And then I think Disney came in and was like, we want you to do more. Here's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then he went to Dave Filoni and was like, well, what do we do? And
hey, the Boba Fett show that you're making, can I borrow 2 episodes?
Well, here's all this Bo-Katan Mandalore
stuff that we left unresolved from Clone Wars.
I guess that works. And they just threw the 3rd season together.
And like, the stuff that they do there isn't even that bad either. Because a lot of that stuff was unresolved stuff from Rebels that we just, not even. That's not even true though. Because Bo-Katan did that whole character arc in Rebels, became the new ruler of Mandalore, and then at some time randomly in between Rebels and The Mandalorian just like lost it somehow for reasons we don't understand, and then she just gets it back again.
I'm sure it'll be in a cartoon show at some point. Just scrubbing through this trailer, Sam, did you like the Force Awakens / Apocalypse Now homage at the beginning of the trailer?
We already did that.
Look at those X-Wings.
I don't want to do it. Why are we doing it again?
The Razor Crest is back because, again, they're just assuming no one watched past the 1st season.
That's lame, too. Why?
Because we can't...
His Naboo ship was so cool.
But people like the old thing
and
more.
It's canonically just like a way better ship.
Is it, though? I mean,
yes.
It's faster.
No, it's like way faster.
Okay, but his old ship had a toilet on it. So, like, that is objectively better for him.
I mean, it's like, I guess, more convenient.
Yeah, he could store stuff
from
in
a toilet perspective.
He couldn't even stand up in that thing.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, it's got more storage.
He's got to stretch his legs.
Okay, it's like the difference between having like a Ferrari and a semi-truck. Okay, dude, it's like, yes, having a semi-truck has its benefits, but like The Ferrari's way cooler than a semi-truck.
If you got an obnoxious little kid and you gotta like haul cargo around, I mean, you're not taking the Ferrari, you gotta take the van.
Unless you're outrunning cops all the time.
He works for the cops half the time.
Only half the cops.
That's the plot of this movie.
Only half the cops. He only likes half of the cops.
Martin Scorsese voices a little monkey man.
I like that. That's fun.
There's several huts in the trailer, including our buff.
Did you see the Lego ship, the Lego Razor Crest that they did for this movie?
No, I did not.
It's $20 more expensive than the old one, and it is significantly smaller.
Of course it is. It's Legos.
But the old Razor Crest set was so cool.
Yeah,
though.
Max has it.
Yeah, Max it's such a sick set, and it's like almost minifigure scale.
Sam, what's the name of this bounty hunter from the Clone Wars that I vaguely recognize that the trailer
I believe his name
is
is
big reveal?
Ebo or Enbo. I think it's Enbo.
He's got the trash can boomerang hat, right? That's his
He was very cool. I liked him a lot in Clone Wars. Embo, yeah. He shows up 3 different times in Clone Wars.
I hope you enjoy the fact that they only make this stuff for you.
Yeah, I like how they put that, but I like that, they put that guy in there he's like, Sam's not interested in this as he should be. Put Embo in the trailer, and he's like, dang it.
For real though.
I do like Embo, dang it.
We could never prove this, and they would never admit it. Dave Filoni has to listen to this podcast.
I think he does. He's got to know.
Because all we do is do minute, tiny lore references and talk about what happened to Jabba's son.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this movie comes around and Dave Filoni's like...
He's like, oh, you want to know what happened to Jabba's son? Fine, I'll make a whole movie about it. Fine.
He's clearly listening to this podcast.
No, but he first appeared in the arc where... the Separatists were attacking this pacifist village of little monkey dudes. Mm-hmm. Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan show up because they're the only people in Clone Wars who ever do anything. And they're like, hey, do you want to fight these droids? And they go, no, we can't. It's against our ways.
Oh, and they have to hire the bounty hunters.
So they hire those bounty hunters and they help them defend them. Later on, they also try to assassinate some Hutts. That doesn't go particularly well. And then the last time we see them is when they team up with Ventress, when Ventress first becomes a bounty hunter. And they steal stuff from that train, and Boba Fett's there, and he's a kid.
Zeb is in this trailer. You hyped for Zeb? Zeb time?
No, I actually kind of hate that Zeb is here at all.
Me too, but
because he's supposed to be on Zeb World. That was his whole arc. Remember that?
Yep. But
did he choose to stay and fight? Was that where that arc ended? I thought he left to go to Zeb World.
No. You didn't even finish Rebels.
No, I did. I just don't remember what happened to Zeb because I don't care that much about Zeb.
No, he
did find Zeb World.
Yes, they have a new homeworld at the end.
Yeah.
He takes the guy who committed genocide there.
Yeah, because they hide them there because it's hidden by an electromagnetic storm or something.
Yeah,
so it's
he's
you
still
can't
off
find
with
it.
the rebellion when we leave him in Rebels.
Okay, I couldn't remember if he left to go to Zeb World or if he stayed with the rebellion.
Any other thoughts on this trailer? Who cares about this? We won't be there opening night because that's what we do.
What is the best?
I did have a thought on this. I had one more thought I forgot to share. But
I was gonna say, what is the best possible story we tell here with these characters? What do we do?
I don't know. I genuinely.
Let's think about who we have access to right now. We got Din Djarin and Grogu, right? Which are you can use them for anything. So that doesn't.
Yeah, well, Din Djarin's barely a character.
Yeah, we can put him in any role and it doesn't really matter. And he's always fun to watch, so that's fine.
He's the man with no name.
Yeah.
The whole idea of that character was we will put him in a setting with a bunch of eccentric
He's Big
guys.
John. He's big iron on his hip guy.
Yeah, and he's got to use his
gunslinging ways
to get through it.
Yeah, which is cool. I don't mind that.
Whatever.
We have Zeb, who's Chewbacca if he could talk.
Sure.
We have
R4D4.
We have R4D8, I think. I don't remember which one's I think it's R4D8 is the red one.
Red R2D2's
We have Embo from that couple Clone Wars arcs. Well, we have Stinky the Hutt. Or Rada the Hutt.
There's the 2 Hutts from
and the 2 Hutts from the Boba Fett show.
And we have I assume
Boba Fett then would probably show up?
No, because Tamara Morrison was complaining that he wasn't in it.
Oh, then maybe not.
He's not going to be
because I guess those 2 Hutts leave then?
Did Filoni say that Cad Bane is still alive somewhere?
He doesn't, his thing is beeping, so I just assumed he was still alive. Yeah, but he can't be in this because Boba Fett has to kill him.
Timothy Oliphant's going to show up in this.
Who's that?
Remember, he was the guy who wore Boba Fett's armor, and he was the
sheriff guy.
And he becomes a cyborg at the end.
Are we on Tatooine at any point in this movie? Oh, I assume because the ship repair lady is there.
Even if it's not in the trailer, we're gonna go to Tatooine.
Well, yeah, well that's where ship repair lady is.
We can't leave Tatooine.
Well, ship repair lady is there. The only guy that can repair
honestly,
the ships.
I hope Bill Burr shows up. That's the only. If Bill Burr shows up, I'll be like, hey.
Didn't he die?
No, he's just running around.
Bill Burr's not going to be in this. He wouldn't say yes. No, he might.
He did the show.
He did Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, he'll do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. But like,
no,
I'm just trying to think what we do.
This movie is going to make less than Solo, and I think there's going to be some
Who's the villain? I think that's my main question. Do we bring Giancarlo Esposito back? Is it him still?
I would have to think so. Who else do we have?
Because he's like super dead.
They say it's just Imperial warlords.
Did who's that one guy who talks with the voice? He's like the Empire is still around. He's the guy who gave
Werner Herzog?
Yeah, is Werner Herzog still alive?
Oh, that'd be sick if he showed up.
I think he's still alive.
I don't think he died. I think he's only in that scene.
He could still be around, I guess. Yeah. Oh, you know what? You know who I want the villain to be?
Who?
That cool leafy pirate guy.
Oh.
That guy was so Muppet? Cool, and he was only
the Muppet.
Yeah, he was only in like one arc, and it sucked. Help me back. Bring him back. No, I want big leafy monkey guy.
I mean, their problem is that no one wants Bo-Katan in this.
Yeah.
Gina Carano is not.
She can't be in it, and she's not going to be a villain even if she wasn't.
No, I'm just saying characters in general. Carl Weathers passed away.
He passed away.
So like, who
we could have like CGI Carl Weathers show up at some point.
Dude, man, if that happens, like, what do we? Ugh.
He could be like a hologram. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Mandalorian like calls him and is like, "Hey, how's it going?"
I think he will be referenced. I don't think he's going to show up in any.
Because when did he pass away?
Like 2 years ago. It was right before they started shooting.
I was going to say it wasn't because they.
Yeah.
If they did, he could have hypothetically filmed like a scene or two.
Script at one point.
Yeah.
I'm sure they did.
They probably had to swap his character out with someone else.
Anyway, Sam, speaking of a movie where most of the cast is dead and or sounds like it, Toy Story 5 got a new trailer this week.
Yes.
Being perfectly honest, I felt more things watching the Toy Story 5 trailer than I did the Mandalorian. I
agree.
One.
I actually agree 100%.
I was never even big into Toy Story.
We were big into Toy Story when we were really little.
Them, but they were never my favorite.
Yeah.
But granted, it's pure Disney emotional manipulation. In the trailer, when the epic version of "You Got a Friend in Me" kicked in,
dude, when Woody,
it was the most
when Woody shows up and he's got his cool renegade outfit. Now.
I was like, they got me, bro.
Honestly, but I also think that this conceptually is a way better idea than the last two movies they made.
I didn't even see the fourth one in theaters.
Yeah, I saw it on Disney Plus. And that was nothing.
It's fine.
That one just had nothing going on.
Okay.
They tried to do something with Forky. Forky is nothing. I feel nothing towards Forky.
He seems like he's taking a back seat.
I like him a lot in the shorts they made on Disney Plus. Those were fun.
You watched those?
Yeah, they were. We both did.
I think I might have too.
They were really funny. I actually liked them a lot.
They were one of the 3 things on Disney Plus when it launched.
Yeah. I don't mind Forky. They were trying to do too much with Forky. Mm-hmm. Having them go up against like an iPad, I think
this is a good idea.
An actually good idea for them to do with these characters.
It's Andrew Stanton, who's been at Pixar for the longest time. He has worked on the scripts for all of these. This is his first one he's directing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a fairly good sign.
And I like the idea of as kids use toys less, there's more renegade toys out in the wild, and Woody's kind of keeping the streets safe. I think that's a cool concept.
There's also a little bit of them playing with the animation style in this. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, they were being a little bit more
when it's Bonnie's imagination, it's kind of flowery and like a watercolor.
And I like that. I think that was something that was missing from the third and fourth one, because we get that whole extended scene where Andy is imagining a big crazy battle that they're engaged in against the pig guy. But it's just in the exact same style as the regular movie. And they try to do a bait and switch with it almost a little bit. And also in Toy Story 2, I think, when we open with the Buzz Lightyear video game thing, I think it was. That was kind of the similar idea. But I like that they're being a little more experimental here. I think that's clearly Spider-Verse influence.
We've talked about that with Pixar a lot, is that they've been just sticking with the in-house style for 30 years at this point.
One thing I notice and that I really don't like is the bokeh effect on the entire trailer.
The what?
everything is out of focus except the one object they want you looking at for the whole trailer. And I don't know. I really hope that's just for the trailer. I hope that the whole movie isn't like that because it drives me insane.
TikTok, baby.
It's very much.
Got to be able to cut this into vertical video.
But it's very much the like you know how you see a movie in 3D and only the one thing in the middle is in focus,
and everything else is just blurry, even though it's clearly not meant to be.
I do wonder if maybe Avatar came out and they were like, "Oh, 3D is gonna have a little moment again," and they were like thinking this would be big in 3D, and it just obviously that doesn't happen because that never happens. And they always think it's gonna happen.
Well, it does happen for like
just Avatar.
Yeah, when the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is clearly. God, what's her Jessie focused this movie,
which I think makes sense. Like Woody's kind of passed the torch to Jet.
Yeah. He's kind of just here because he has to be.
Woody, you can't make a Toy Story movie and not have Woody there.
And being bald is kind of funny.
That's kind of a funny bit. I'm honestly surprised it took this long for that to happen. Because anyone who has a Woody toy, you know that the hat like eventually like rubs through the paint on the back of his head, and that happens.
Well, and he's been around since like the 40s or whatever. So.
Yeah, he's like a 1,000-year-old doll at this point.
I hope Buzz has a bigger role in this one than he did in the last one. He's really, really kind of pushed to the background in 4.
He's not in the trailer a whole lot either.
Yeah, but there's an army of Buzz Lightyears that are the villain of this one, so maybe they'll do something with that.
And that's kind of harkening back to, I think it was Toy Story 2 where he teams up with the Legion of Buzz Lightyears.
But yeah, I think this looks fine. I think it's interesting that they're not even bothering to pretend this is the last one, which was the whole marketing campaign for 3 and 4.
Yeah.
This is the sad goodbye, and I think they're just like, we'll do 6 if this makes money.
Yeah, because we know that that's the case.
My only other note is that, I mean, especially, gosh, can't remember anyone's names today. I've been up since 6 a.m. Especially the voice actor for Jessie sounds.
Yeah, she's clearly getting a little up there. And
Joan Cusack.
I don't understand why you can't recast some of the voice actors. Like,
okay.
Toy Story.
It doesn't take me out of it. I'm just like,
it's fine. But like,
because in real life, it's been 30 years since Toy Story came out.
I don't care what Jessie sounds like, to be honest. But like, there's no reason why. I mean, they're told it's a CGI movie. You can change out the voice cast if you're going to keep this going for another 60 years.
Well, me and you would riot if they ever fired Tim Allen.
Well, obviously, you can't replace like Woody and Buzz, but basically everyone else is up for grabs.
Buzz.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Lightyear. Everyone forgot about that one. All right, Sam. There was a trailer for Spider-Noir.
I really am excited for Spider-Noir.
I forgot this was even happening.
I want Spider-Noir. It's been...
But we talked about it on the last show when they put the first poster out.
Yeah. I've wanted this for a while. Ever since I saw the Spider-Noir character in Spider-Verse, I was like, dude, I want a whole movie of that guy. I want to know what he's doing.
Although this is supposed to be a different version of that character.
Yeah, I'll pretend like that's
Ben
the case.
Reilly. Did you notice that?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Do you think what do you think is the deal with that?
I think his backstory is that Peter gets killed or Peter dies.
And I think he is a clone? Like, it's the 40s, though.
It could be like a mad scientist Frankenstein type thing.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Do they just want people to not be confused?
I think that's the main thing. I think Ben Reilly's just such a... some people know he's like tangentially Spider-Man related, but like most people don't know who that is. Uncle Ben, people know that's a Spider-Man word.
But they also might be just being like... Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Miles Morales is a different Spider-Man.
He's another different Spider-Man. And I think that's a good reuse of that word. Yeah, everyone hates Scarlet Spider. Everyone thinks Scarlet Spider sucks.
Are you going to watch this in black and white or in color? It's clearly shot to be in black and white.
Yeah, I think it'll depend. I have a bunch of friends who actually do want to watch this.
And they will watch it in color.
They will only watch it in color.
People won't watch things in black and
white. If I end up watching it with them, I will probably watch it in color. If that ends up not happening and I watch it by myself, I'll probably watch it in black and white.
Yeah, I might. I will probably do black and white for the most part. I might hit the color version for like one episode just to see.
Yeah, just to see what's up with that.
But the villains is got a pretty good cast. Obviously, Nick Cage is Spider-Noir. 62. Still kicking it. He's doing the weird little Nicolas Cage motions.
I like that he's doing his weird Nicolas Cage thing.
Yeah, I love him weirding out. I'll take 8 hours of him weirding out.
and weirding out as Spider-Man. Like, that's such a bizarre... Like, this is... What I really like about this is that it's completely insane. Nothing about this makes any sense.
Yeah, why would you make this show?
Old-timey, black and white, Spider-Man knockoff, played by deranged lunatic Nicolas Cage, who is 60.
Yeah.
And he's like not even trying to be Spider-Man. He's clearly just crazy Nicolas Cage guy.
But the dog has just been staring at me for like 10 minutes.
She's like, "What do you had? Your food?" No, I want to see what they cooked here. I think this could be really cool.
Lamorne Morris is Robbie Robertson. Lee Jun Lee is Kat Hardy. Jack Houston is Flint Marko, who is Sandman. Brendan Gleeson is the main villain, is Silvermane, who in the comics is a big cyborg man. So I'll be interested to see how they do that.
I could see him being like a steampunk
robot
kind of robot. That'd be pretty cool.
As well as he's got like a coat that he opens up and it's gears.
Yeah, and he's got like gears and he's clanky.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. They're doing a binge drop, so the whole season's gonna drop.
Yeah, I like that too. I got into a debate with one of my friends over the week. We were talking about whether or not Spider-Man broods. And then and I was like, well, yeah, he broods sometimes. Not as much as Batman, but like, yeah, he's a broody guy. He sits on the roof and he's sad about
sometimes it's brooding and sometimes it's just him crying.
Yeah. But then the next day this came out and I was like, okay, see, this is a Spider-Man who's going to be brooding.
Yeah, he's doing the Batman thing. He's just going to be doing the Batman thing. All right. Sam, there's a trailer for House of the Dragon Season 3.
I did not watch that one. I did not know that this came out.
People are upset. They're always upset about this show for some reason.
Why are we upset now?
I have not seen the first 2 seasons still.
Why not?
I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Are you still trying to watch Game of Thrones before you finish?
No, I finished Game of Thrones. I finished Game of Thrones. I've been watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
When did you watch Game of Thrones? When did you finish that?
Last year.
Oh.
I'm trying to do Euphoria right now because that comes out. The 3rd season that comes out first.
Yeah, that one's hard. That one's a lot harder to watch than Game of Thrones.
Well, but it's a lot shorter.
That is true. It's much shorter.
Okay. Complete tangent about Euphoria. I watched the 1st season.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to you about it on the show. I was like, I don't understand really like why this is as big as it is. This is just okay. I got to the special episode that they made in between season 1 and 2, and I was like, this is amazing. This is a really good. This should be why are we doing all this other stuff? Like, this should be the show.
The show is a CW teen drama with the production value of an A24 movie.
That's what bothered me about it. Is like the whole 1st season is just so distracted by trying to be as like
artsy as it can,
stylistic as possible, and being like way overdone. The music is insanely obnoxious. The lighting is like really neon. The
lighting is bizarre.
Everyone's in 18 layers of makeup.
I rewatched the first couple episodes with a friend because she was trying to like catch up with the show before the next season as well. And I was like, man, I do not remember the show being so
it's purple all the time,
hyperbolic with its lighting.
But then you get to it's the episode that they made during COVID, where it's just in Zendaya and Coleman Domingo in a diner just talking for an hour, and the writing is incredible, and those performances aren't like those two.
Was that one also written by?
Yeah, he wrote it. Like he's clearly capable.
Yeah,
like the dialogue is so natural and realistic, and it's such an honest discussion about like addiction and faith and guilt.
I think it's
incredible. And I was like, why are you writing subplots about like 18 different teenagers who have weird sex issues?
I think
this is clearly the focus.
I think he has a clear and distinct vision for the character Rue.
Right.
And I think he sees a lot of himself in that character.
Yeah.
And so she is incredibly deep and fleshed out and consistent. And everyone else is there because boobies will get viewers.
Well, yeah. And the other thing about that episode is that it doesn't have any narration. And I was like, this show is better if there's no narration.
Yeah, I did not remember there being a narration. And then when I rewatched the first couple episodes, I was like, oh.
It doesn't need
Why is there a narration?
It doesn't add anything. Like they can just show the images and I'll put it together.
I think the first episode, it's fine. Because we're kind of learning who all these people are. So like, yeah, you can get us up to speed with the school drama through the narrative framing device of like Rue giving us a PowerPoint or whatever. That's fine. After that, it needs to stop. We don't need it anymore. We're there. We're here with you now. We see what's going on.
Anyway, that's not important. Are you excited for House of the Dragon?
I'll watch it. Yeah. No, I am a big fan of even when Game of Thrones was really bad. I still found things to like in the 8th season. I think I have both grown to hate it more and appreciate it more as time has gone on. Because again, the scope of what they were able to achieve, where they set up all these different characters, they put them on different paths, and then they brought them all together at the end in ways that some made more sense than others.
Right.
But it was really nice to finally get some of those interactions where you're like, oh man, what would happen if this character met this character? And then you see it, and yeah, it's not as good as it would have been if it was like, way earlier in the show and the show was good. But it's still like, oh, it's kind of cool to see when Arya and Sansa reunite, and you're like, oh man, that's so cool. Is it as cool as it would have been if they were better written? No, but it's still pretty cool.
To get across the entire country? A little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Does that make any sense? No. Did I do the math one time and prove that those ravens would have literally caught on fire if they were flying as fast as they were? Yeah, but still.
No, I think Night of the Seven Kingdoms has a lot of people back in on Thrones. I think everyone's kind of back to peak throne hype. So it'd be interesting if this kills the goodwill.
Have you seen the war going on between the Breaking Bad fans and the Night of the Seven Kingdoms fans?
Bombing Ozymandias.
No, because
on IMDb.
What happened was
hilarious that anyone's using that platform for anything.
You're not in the anime community.
No,
this is something that happens in the anime community all the time. So for over a decade, I think. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was the #1 highest rated anime on my anime list, which is IMDb for anime. And
I thought you were saying like my personal. I was like, you have a list?
No. That's what the website's called. I think I do have an account on there, and I used to keep better track of what I watched, but I haven't updated it in a long time.
For that,
but
I have a letterbox.
Yeah, it's basically like Letterboxd and IMDb combined.
Yeah.
But Freeren actually ended up taking over the #1 spot for highest rated anime, and they and the reason why FMAB was able to keep their #1 spot for so long is because their fan base was like militant, and they would actively like destroy any show that even approached getting the #1 spot. And the only reason why Freerun has been able to do that now is because that show came out so long ago that the fan base is just kind of
they've dwindled off.
They've just dwindled off, and Freerun was able to like eke in to that spot, and I think it still has that spot now. But I bring all that up to say this is not I've seen this happen many times before. It's just I've never seen it happen with like real TV shows or like live action TV shows before.
Well, and Breaking Bad fans are famously like the ones online famously terrible.
So that's how it started. The most recent episode of Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I keep calling it The Hedge Knight because that's a better title. It's a better title.
But that's the name of the first novella, and the show is going to do
several. But I like The Hedge Knight. I'm going to keep calling it that. I think it's a better title. I don't know why they changed it. And
I think the name of when he sells them in the novel, I meant them as a series. I think it's called The Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, no one's calling Game of Thrones a Song of Ice and Fire.
It's different, but whatever.
It's not different. Anyway, the Breaking Bad fans were mad that Night of the Seven Kingdoms was like eking out Breaking Bad, and so they started review bombing Night of the Seven Kingdoms because they were like, you can't be cooler than our show. And then the Night of the Seven Kingdoms fans were like, that's dumb, we're gonna review bomb your show. So now Ozymandias is at like a 9.8 now because it's gotten like 50,000 bad reviews from Tina, what are you doing?
I don't have food for you. What do you want?
I just want to watch the podcast.
She thinks she's so used to us eating McDonald's.
Yeah, we don't have any food though.
Okay, Sam, there's a trailer. You didn't watch it.
Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Do
you remember who Lee Cronin is?
Is he a real guy?
Yep.
No.
Do you remember? You saw Evil Dead Rise.
I've never seen an Evil Dead movie.
You saw the most recent one, did you not?
I have not seen that.
Oh, okay.
Well, you went to go see it by yourself.
No, I saw it with two of my friends. That's what I was thinking. Anyway, it's great. Evil Dead Rise.
I saw that they greenlit another Evil Dead movie.
Yeah, they're already shooting the next one. So there's one that comes out this year in July called Evil Dead Burn. And then they just started production today on the one after that. So I'm assuming there'll be another one next year. But anyway, the director of Evil Dead Rise, which was the one in 2023, is doing a new Mummy movie. That's a horror thing from Warner Brothers. And that's coming out on April 17th. There's a trailer for it. I don't think it looks great.
Yeah, I don't care about
really generic.
I don't care about the Mummy at all.
Yeah, you don't care about the Mummy. Or
bring
random horror movies.
Now, if they did another Tom Cruise Mummy movie, I would be morbidly curious. But I don't care at all about this.
Do you think the Universal will ever try that again? The Dark Universe?
No. I think the idea of doing a big cinematic universe is dead now. Because Marvel is floundering.
Yeah.
And the idea of that is tied purely to the viability of the MCU.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what they were all trying to emulate.
So if the MCU is like, I mean, it's still viable, but it's like on life support compared to what it used to be doing.
I mean, yeah, it's a shell of its former self.
Yeah. And like DC is not going to do that. I think they could have. They just are off to maybe the dumbest possible way they could have started this franchise.
The strategy could have maybe been, I mean, we talk about this every week, but like the strategy could have maybe worked 15 years ago when the theatrical market could support $150 million risk, but not now.
Yeah.
This is not financially viable.
Especially not if your whole cinematic universe is, what if James Gunn's friends have fun and that's your franchise?
Well, no, but like maybe that would have worked in 2008 when people would go to the movies and just see a thing because they thought it looked interesting. Like,
yeah.
No,
that's not a thing anymore.
Today it's the event film.
Yeah.
It's the like, we're going to do this thing 1 or 2 times and we're going to see how many people we can get excited about it coming out.
I'm really excited for Dune Part 3.
Exactly.
That's going to be cool.
That's an event film. Timothée Chalamet said it was the last one he was going to do.
Well, that's the last one Paul Atreides is in.
Doesn't he come back as like a worm or something?
No, that's his kid, Duke Leto II.
Okay. So, him and
who
today.
should be in this movie, hypothetically.
We'll see. He might be a baby.
He would be. He doesn't become a worm guy until much later in the story.
We'll see. Get hype. Okay, that's all the trailers, I think, unless I missed one.
Dang, why is this Apple Severance story so long?
Okay, well, it's
is there
just
really that much to have?
We're gonna go over this real quick. I just think this is interesting. So Apple's, and this is also an update on where Severance season 3 is out, where it's at. Apple Studios has agreed to pay $70 million to acquire the full IP rights to Severance from the original production company Fifth Season, who had produced the first 2 seasons of the series. So Severance costs about $20 million per episode. Fifth Season is not a very big company, so they were having to borrow a lot of money from Apple to make the show.
Mm-hmm.
So they both mutually decided it would just make more sense for Apple to buy it.
Which does make sense.
The series has had a lot of behind-the-scenes problems, especially during season 2, which was shooting over the course of 16 months for 10 episodes.
Which is very long for those of you who are
there was issues in the writer's room. They had to bring in new people. They had to rewrite a bunch of scripts. Whole sets were constructed and then thrown out because the scenes were written out of the show. They had a labor strike, COVID protocols. It was a whole deal. They also shoot in New York, which is obviously super expensive compared to like Canada or Bulgaria or whatever. And then in terms of where season 3 is currently at, so now that Apple fully has the rights, they're currently writing it. They're on episode 7 according to Deadline. This article's from about a week ago, so probably the same spot. They're expecting to begin production in June. Now, Ben Stiller, who directs a lot of the episodes and is the lead creative behind the show, he's not going to be directing any of season 3 because he's off shooting like a World War II movie or something, because he thinks he's Steven Spielberg.
Sure, man. Yeah, man. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with season 3 without him being as actively involved. And then apparently a 4th season has not been greenlit, but it is planned. Like,
okay, they have like they have an idea of where they want it to go. Arc. Yeah.
And then Apple wants to do spin-offs and prequels, and apparently the creators are like fairly open to that.
And we already know that there are other Severance divisions in other countries and stuff.
Well, yeah, apparently one of the ideas floated was like Severance Italy, Severance Spain.
Because they did that one bit where they had the one from like the Latin American country, and he was like, "Oh yeah, our statue was like a broom with googly eyes."
It'll be like The Office. You know how they made The Office, but for like every country?
Didn't the Office Mexico like just come out?
The Office Australia, they just tried to do like 2 years ago.
There was a Latin American one that just came out.
Maybe they do it literally every year. There's a new one cranked out, and they all get canceled after one season because everyone just watches the U.S. one.
Yeah, La Oficina.
Okay, when's it from?
2026.
Oh wow!
Like it just came out.
That's amazing. Good for Ricky Gervais, who's just collecting all those checks. I wish he would do something with his time.
Or the trailer just came out. Maybe the trailer just came out. Yeah.
Do you think they'll do the same thing for The Paper? The Paper Mexico?
Is The Paper getting another season?
They got renewed.
I did like Peacock, The Paper. I didn't mind The Paper. I thought it was okay.
But Peacock, NBC was like, it was in our top 5 most watched comedy premieres on Peacock of all time.
Wow.
And you're like, oh, okay. So like 9 people
we posted it to our platform.
Yeah. But no, they don't make anything else, so why not renew it?
Yeah.
What else is going on Peacock other than them just paying a demonstrable amount of money to broadcast the NBA?
Every sport.
All right, let's talk about some of these video game things.
Yes.
There was a state of play this week from Sony. Couple of highlights. More footage from the new Resident Evil. Are you hyped? What is this one? This is like 14?
My only relation to Resident Evil is that my ex really liked it, so I never played it. I don't care.
I'm hyped for the Zach Kreger movie.
Yeah, but I like Zach Kreger. I'll watch a thing that he makes. If it's Resident Evil, I did see some people mad that it wasn't going to be related to like the games. And I was like, yeah, okay, man.
Well, they just did a movie like 3 years ago that was just Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
And no one
watched it.
I feel like this is a pretty okay. Yeah. It's the same world too. He just said it's just not an adaptation. It's like it's still set in the same universe.
Yeah.
But is this is like 11 or 12?
I don't know.
Was the one
Village was 8?
Was that the last one, or was there another one after that?
I believe there was another one after that, but so it wasn't as popular because it didn't have big booby vampire lady in it. Yeah.
They should just put her in everything.
They probably will.
There was a gameplay trailer for Star Wars Galactic Racer.
That looks cool.
I had a stray thought the other day where it was like, I don't play a lot of video games anymore, but what if I just got like really into Star Wars Galactic Racer?
You became like a savant at that game. What if I just
put 400 hours into this game for no reason?
I like what I'm hearing about it so far.
Even if it sucks, like what if
I like that they said no battle pass. I like that they said it's solid racing.
Is there going to be a campaign?
I believe they did say that there was a single player campaign.
Okay.
I'm liking what I'm hearing so far.
I heard that
sounds like they're making all the right. Ben Quadranatos is in it.
Quadranatos is back
and alive still somehow.
In it as well.
Yeah, he was in the first trailer.
I didn't even know there was.
What is going on with Star Wars recently? Like, I feel like the last 2 projects they've done.
They're just messing with us. I'm telling you.
Like,
it's all an elaborate prank on me and you.
I don't Andor was like,
right.
No, zero glup crapos.
Did you see that Tony Gurrai did an interview this week where he was just straight up like mask off? He was just like, yeah, they're doing fascism. Like he's just talking about it openly at this point. He's like, yeah, Andor is about like these 3 different fascistic takeover strategies, and this is happening in the real world here.
Yeah.
Here.
I mean,
he just doesn't care anymore.
I mean, that's what that's what the show is.
Shouts out to my boy. I love him.
Yeah, like all of the Mandalorian and Grogu marketing has been like, oh, look, it's this guy that only you know about. And this one, it's like, hey, it's Ben Quadranatos from that 1 5-second part of the Phantom Menace. Part
is, though, is more people probably recognize Ben Quadranatos than Zeb from Star Wars Rebels. Because if you just think of the amount of people who saw the Phantom Menace compared to like who watched Star Wars Rebels.
Okay, more people have probably heard the name. I wouldn't say more people know the character, but more people have probably heard the name.
But if you probably showed them the picture, they'd be like, that's the guy from Phantom Menace. Like he's in it. They wouldn't know his name because who would know his name? Ben Quadranatos.
Yeah, Ben Quadranatos.
Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 coming out in August. It's going to be Metal Gear Solid 4 and Peace Walker, which I think is that a spinoff?
I don't know. I know the first collection was the first 2 games.
I think it was the first 3.
Was it? Because I know we just got Snake Eater Delta, which is the 3rd game.
But that was like a
remake. Yeah.
This is just a port.
And then this is the rest of the games.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know anything about Metal Gear.
Those games are an insane value.
I think it's really crazy that after Kojima left, they were just like, they didn't know what to do with this thing at all. Like, they didn't even bother to try to do it without him.
No, they did. They made one game without him.
They made Metal Gear Survive, and we don't talk about that one.
Yeah. What if Solid Snake wanders around in a desert
and hits a zombie with a stick
and throws things at people?
What do people love about Metal Gear? Zombies.
Yeah.
Silent Hill Townfall. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't even really know what Silent Hill is about.
I know Pyramid Head is in it, I think. That's the game he's from. Is that what he's from?
Does he have 2 eyeballs on his hands like in Pan's Labyrinth?
I don't think he does. Okay, I think he just has a big sword and a big metal head.
Okay.
I know nothing about this other than that girls are attracted to Pyramid Head.
That's the crazy thing about the gaming industry is all of these games definitely cost like tens of millions of dollars to develop, have huge audiences, and I could not tell you one thing about Silent Hill. Like I know I would recognize the pyramid guy, but I don't think I would even like I don't even know him as the Silent Hill guy. I just recognize him from like being in video game like
didn't
mosaics.
Didn't the Switch just get
No. 1 and 2 maybe a port. I don't
know. No. It was like a camera one with that girl. You've definitely seen the cover of the game.
Probably. I was just at Walmart today. I probably saw it there.
Silent Hill F. Yeah. That was the most recent one. I think that's the one where the girl. What is that?
The beeping sound.
Oh, that's Max.
I see backing.
He's backing in. Yeah.
That's funny.
That's the one where the girl who like played the main character was like, I couldn't finish the game because it was too scary. I was like, dude, you recorded the game.
John. Oh, okay. This is cool. The John Wick action game got a full reveal trailer.
I did see that.
It's no gameplay. It looks like it's all cutscenes.
Yeah.
And some takedowns of him like smash people's head against
whacking
the table.
dudes.
I'm interested.
Sure.
I'm on board. We'll see what happens.
I could see it being like a really fast-paced version of like GoldenEye, like the James Bond type games.
Yeah, but it's I think it's third person. This trailer,
if I remember right,
but it's got to be first, right?
It is developed by the
Saber. I don't know what they did.
It's the Hitman people.
Okay, so
I believe
it'd have to be third person.
Which is, let me double check that, but that's the right people.
I think you're right. That sounds right. Hitman. Vamping.
IO Interactive does.
Okay.
Does Hitman.
So this is Saber Interactive. What have they done? This is what the people who come to the podcast for, is just Googling things and reading very slowly.
Well, I mean, someone's got to do it. Saber Interactive, they do...
WWE 2K Battlegrounds.
Oh. They do...
John Carpenter's Toxic Commando.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Tomb Raider 4 through 6 Remastered.
Okay, that's kind of something.
It looks like they do crappy licensed games.
Okay.
Which concerns
me. They did Jurassic Park Survival.
Evil Dead,
They did Turok Origins. They did Road Kings. Bus Around.
Okay.
Painkiller.
I'm not super
Space Marine 2. People like the Space Marine games.
They helped with Halo 4.
Oh. That's the one everyone hates.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Maybe they just didn't have the resources.
Maybe they'll pop off for this one and this one only.
Well, maybe they didn't have the money.
Maybe this will be the one game they make that people like.
You never know. There's always talented programmers.
Sure.
Hey, give me a break.
All right. Anyway, what's next?
There was a full remake of the God of War trilogy announced. This I will
that's
buy.
Pretty cool.
If it ever comes out, which it probably won't. It'll get canceled.
Oh, and another thing that was announced, not as part of this, but is kind of related. Nier Automata 2.
Right. Jeff Keighley just tweeted that, didn't he?
Jeff Keighley was like, hey guys, new Nier Automata game. Which would be the first time that this developer has ever made a sequel, by the way.
What's it been, like 10 years since Nier Automata?
That's not true. He made 3 Drakengard games. So Drakengard 1 through 3 is about a prostitute who fights stuff or something.
Okay.
And then in one of the 27 endings to the third game,
right. That's all games have.
This god thing gets sent to the real world Earth and dies, and its body becomes like little ashes. And then Nier Replicant is about how those ashes became an infection that killed off like basically everyone, and humanity put itself into stasis and built these robots to like keep their bodies preserved until the infection goes away. And then Nier Automata takes place thousands and thousands and thousands of years after that. Mm-hmm. Like humanity's been extinct for a very long time.
Right.
Aliens invaded at one point. Even they have gone extinct because it's been so long.
Sure.
And the only people that are still around are the robot assistants to those aliens and the offspring of the androids that the humans left behind.
Of stuff that's happened in between video games.
Hmm?
Seems to be a lot of stuff. For in between.
This franchise is known for having a very, very convoluted lore.
And you know what, Sam? There's nothing I love more than game franchises that require textbooks in order for me to understand.
But that's 90% of what you need. The rest is like details, but that's the general setup.
Anyway, wasn't Nier Automata? I know that game. It's the game with the blindfold girl and you run around.
Yes, it's very good. It's a very good game.
Yeah.
I think everyone should play that game.
That was like 2016 when that came out.
2017.
Yes, it's been. I mean, this. But
this
probably will not be
I played it on the Switch when the Switch port came out, and the game is actually 3 games, pretending to be 1 game. The first game you play as 2B and you fight the robots, and you beat the big robot at the end, and wahoo. The second part, you play as 9S, who is like the sidekick in the first part of the game, who like hacks the robots for you and like supports you and stuff.
Is that one also a hot girl?
No, 9S is a little boy.
Oh.
So 9S, when you play as 9S though, because you're hacking, you actually get way more context for both your side of this conflict, because you're like inadvertently tapping into like your own side's information,
right,
and the aliens. You get way more context for the world. That's where you actually get the reveal of like what literally anything is happening. And then at the end of his portion of the game, 2B dies, gets straight up, she gets infected by like the alien virus and gets killed.
Spoilers.
Yes, massive spoilers for this game, by the way. And then the third part of the game, you play as a character you like briefly ran into towards the beginning of the game, who becomes the protagonist for the rest of the game, and 9S turns evil, and you have to kill him because he went insane after 2B dies. It's a very cool game. I highly recommend it.
This is why I enjoy Mario Odyssey.
It is kind of weird that they're all named after like they're all like letter number combinations, which gets
that's so easy to remember.
The game is so cool because like everything that is in the game is part of the game. Like
put that one on the box.
I'll explain.
Everything in the game is part of the game.
No, let me explain what I mean by that. Right? Like, okay, in most games you have a health bar, right?
Yeah.
In this game, the health bar isn't just something that like you as the player see. Mm-hmm. It is actually part of the programming of the androids that you're playing as. And the way that these characters are set up is you can like modify your like chips in order to like make more space for like, let's say you want to do more attack damage.
Right.
You can actually get rid of the UI and add a chip that does more damage. Like everything is part of the game. It's very cool. It's a very interesting game.
That does sound cool. I'll never play it.
I do recommend it. And it's not that long, because the 2B part is only a couple hours. The 9S part's not that long. The A2 part I think is the longest, and it's not that long either. I think the whole game is like maybe 50 or 60 hours. Anyway.
Do you want to talk about a different thing dying, and that's Xbox?
Yeah, Xbox.
So
Xbox is gone.
In a late Friday news dump, out the blue.
This was so random.
Phil Spencer, who has been as the Microsoft gaming CEO.
He is Mr. Xbox.
Mr. Xbox. He's been head of their gaming division since 2014.
This would be like if Miyamoto decided to just resign one day.
Sort of, but he's been with the company for 38 years. He's been with Microsoft for like their whole time.
He's been with Microsoft as long as Xbox has been a thing.
He is retiring, and Sarah Bond, who was president of Xbox and was long believed to be
the successor
heir apparent to Phil Spencer, she resigned effective immediately.
Yeah.
So they are both just out the blue gone from the company. The new CEO of Microsoft Gaming is a woman
named Asha
Shar. She's currently the head of Microsoft's core AI product. Good sign.
Mm-hmm. Yay.
Matt Booty, or Bodie? I think it's Booty. Booty.
I don't know.
Who was the head of Xbox Game Studios, is now being promoted to Chief Content Officer. Yeah, I think this is emblematic of just Xbox just noping out the industry. They basically gave up on this generation within 15 minutes of it starting. They've made no effort whatsoever to produce any compelling original games this whole time. They have been eating up studios and then collapsing them.
Trying to think what even the last game they made was. Starfield?
The only notable thing they've done in the past 10 years has been buy Blizzard,
buy things and shut them down.
And then do nothing. Go into debt. That's it.
Because they bought Activision Blizzard,
for $69
which is Call of Duty,
billion.
Call of Duty, Overwatch, and World of Warcraft. It's functionally what that means.
Yep.
Call of Duty has not improved in quality since then.
No.
I don't know if it has.
Sales are steady. They're what they've always
gone down, but that seems to have been a neutral for Call of Duty.
They have not expanded the brand in any meaningful way.
Overwatch has crapped its bed so insanely hard that in the last 2 weeks they have actually decided we're removing the 2 from the game. We're actually just doing Overwatch 1 again, and we're adding like 20 new characters.
Right.
And I was like, huh?
Yeah, well, because they're like everything in the industry, they are transitioning it. It was already a live service game.
It was always a live service game.
But they're transitioning it from just like, there will never be an Overwatch 3, there will just be Overwatch. And we'll update Overwatch.
But they're changing it so that the gameplay is back to Overwatch 1 gameplay.
Great. That's what you want to do after 4 years.
Which is like, then what on earth was the point of any of that? And the truth is, Overwatch 2 never did come out.
No, they never released the campaign.
Overwatch 2 was the campaign.
Yeah.
The only difference between Overwatch 1 and 2 in terms of the PvP was the team size.
Yeah.
Was the team size and a couple champion rewards.
Well, wasn't there also supposed to be like a PvE mode or something?
That was the campaign.
That they just cut.
The PvE is player versus environment. Yeah. That was the campaign. That never ended up coming out. That was the main selling point.
That was the whole thing they were going to do.
The whole thing. The only other differences between Overwatch 1 and 2 was Overwatch 2 had 6-man teams instead of 5-man teams. 2,
which could have just been a game mode.
Yeah. 2, it was that they got rid of all the cutscenes that everyone really liked to like introduce the new characters.
And that's improving.
So when they just recently announced that we're doing away with Overwatch 2, they're like, okay, we're also going to bring back all the cutscenes you like, and also we're adding new characters, and we're gonna rework all the heroes so that they're back to how they used to be, and we're gonna do Overwatch like we used to, and you guys can stop complaining. And that seems to have partially worked. Their numbers have gone up since then. People do seem interested in Overwatch again. We'll see if that's a lasting thing or if that's just a spur of the moment. I mean, Rivals has thoroughly
fallen off.
Well, it has fallen off, but it also kind of completely killed like it was the last nail in Overwatch's coffin.
Yeah. But those games are cyclical. They have a
lifespan to them, but Rivals is still really big.
They have peaks and valleys. There's a big boost in it, and then they fall off. But I mean, before they even bought Activision Blizzard, though, they acquired Bethesda for, I think that one was like $20 billion.
Yes. ZeniMax, I think, was the
Bethesda
company that owns them.
Announce Elder Scrolls 6 in 2017.
Which still isn't here. We did get some information on that.
No, we didn't.
I'll tell you, it's not good.
No, there is no.
What they said was that it will use the engine they used in Starfield.
Oh, you mean the engine they said which is the engine 2018?
Which is the engine that they used to make Skyrim, which is the engine that they used to make Oblivion, which is from like 2004.
Which is from over 20 years ago.
Yes.
Incredible stuff. They proceeded to do literally nothing different. The whole thing with them acquiring all these companies, right, is you acquire a Bethesda, you acquire an Activision, because those companies make these giant big games that are multi-platform, and you want either those game series to be exclusive, or you want exclusive content for your versions at the very least.
Or you want some kind of creative control.
Some kind of creative control. Some side of integration with the Xbox interface, UI, ecosystem,
access to your talent,
other franchises.
Something.
Like you want to, if we were going to buy Bethesda, we want Elder Scrolls stuff to appear in a Halo crossover.
Yeah. Where's the Halo Call of Duty Overwatch crossover? I'm just saying, like where are these things that should exist?
To integrate the brands together in some way, because that is logical for trying to make more money.
Or
they never did.
Or you could do nothing.
Anything. All they did was acquire all of these studios for so much money. Like, people don't talk about it enough. They spent tens and tens and tens of billions of dollars for the sole purpose of building up the what's it called?
The library, the catalog.
The library. What's the streaming service called? Game Pass.
Game Pass.
The sole purpose was,
bolstering the catalog on Game Pass. It was
kind of a little bit smart in a way, because
it made sense. There was an underlying logic behind it, but they needed to do more than that.
Yeah.
That wasn't enough.
They saw, because Game Pass launched in 2018, 2019, around then. I think it was 19.
Yeah.
They saw the writing on the wall that all of media, movies, television, newspapers, podcasts,
TV, movies, and streaming, movies and music had all gone streaming.
Everything was moving into a streaming-based model. So they were like, gaming, it's natural that that's where this would go. Let's spend all this money. Let's acquire all these studios early before everyone else even gets the chance to, so we can pay less than they would be if it was a bidding war. We'll acquire this giant library of games, and we'll become the Game Pass company. What we'll do is Game Pass. Xbox is Game Pass, and we'll get everyone to pay for the service. And they really tried, and they pushed it for like 5 years. And then they realized that they had just gotten to a cap, and that they wasn't growing, and they wasn't going to grow.
Well, I think
they didn't know what to do.
I think there were two problems. One, they way overspent on acquiring all this stuff, and they couldn't recoup the cost.
Yeah, well, for sure.
Two, Game Pass had no competition, which is important.
Yeah.
Not because logically competition should make it harder.
PlayStation Plus, but they never.
Real competition. Yeah. There was no hype behind it.
No.
Gaming has always thrived on competition between these companies.
Studios.
The console wars. Mario versus Sonic.
Yeah.
All of these little rivalries that these companies leverage in order to win. Game Pass was just too good of a deal. No one else even wanted to try to compete. The only way Game Pass could have succeeded is if they got a massive bolster in VC funding in order to keep it running, which is how Netflix and all these other streaming companies survived the interim period before they became profitable. They didn't have access to that because no one cared about Game Pass.
Yeah.
And then now we're here where they're just like withering away.
Like the reason the gaming industry is so big and makes so much money is not because their audience is like this super wide spanning, broad, general audience appealing thing. It's because there's a core demographic of gaming fans who are like a couple tens of millions strong who buy a lot of games and buy a lot of stuff in games.
Yeah.
It's not like Netflix where just your average person at some point in their life on a daily basis watches movies and television.
Yeah. Like playing a game is a whole different commitment than watching a show.
Different form of entertainment.
Yeah.
So trying to undercut them on price so severely, because Game Pass was so cheap for so long. And Netflix knew that after just a really small amount of time, they had to start raising the price because that was the only way it was ever going to make sense.
Yeah.
And also Netflix was able to raise all that VC because they weren't doing anything else.
Yeah.
They were a streaming service. They had the DVD business, but they were a streaming service first and only.
They had hype.
That was the only thing they were doing.
Yeah.
And everything they were doing was to build up that industry. Xbox was already a division of Microsoft, which is this giant amalgamous company.
Yeah.
And at the same time, they were also trying to still run their hardware and software business traditionally. And so they weren't focusing on Game Pass because all the focus was still on the main forms of revenue. They didn't.
And that's because of how the gaming audience perceives these companies, which is like, and I think this is partially even outdated, at least now, but a big part of the console wars was like, which one is more powerful? Which one's the biggest and baddest? Xbox, at the time, at least when the original PS5 and the Xbox Series X came out, was the more powerful console. More powerful. But who cares if you're streaming all your games?
Yeah. Well, who cares if you're streaming all your games and also it's not that noticeably that much of an improvement from the Xbox One?
Yeah.
I think, honestly, that has been
that's been a problem for the whole generation. Yeah.
Is
with the exception of the Switch,
which is
and the
wild,
Switch 2.
Because both of these companies clearly thought, we will invest all of our money into specs and hardware. We won't put any effort into software, and we will sell these things entirely based on how good the graphics are. And then they've encountered the problem of just no one cares.
That can work if you have a healthy third-party development ecosystem that wants to make content for your console. But if you buy the entire third-party market, that goes away.
Yeah.
Because now that cost is on you. You now have to pay to develop everything.
Well, that cost is on you, and those companies' model relied on revenue from the other systems.
Yeah.
And so you have to keep providing software to those other companies because that is the only way that if you own Ubisoft, the only way Ubisoft's going to make any money
in Japan, for example, is if you put it on a PlayStation.
Is if you sell to Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. You can't put it all to one because the company's revenue will massively shrink. You'll have to do giant layoffs, and then you'll produce less content. And then what was the point in even?
And that's what is
actively happening.
And some of this is the result of Microsoft. I hate to not Microsoft, but Xbox, and I almost hate to say this. They were too pro-consumer in a lot of ways. They had the best backwards compatibility of all these consoles by far. Game Pass was an incredible deal up until like maybe a year ago. The lack of exclusives was not necessarily even a lack of exclusives. It's just they were putting their games on everything.
Yeah.
Which is a very pro-consumer thing to do,
but
very bad for your Xbox business. And then the whole everything is an Xbox thing, which is like, that's great. Yeah, I love that I no longer need to buy an Xbox to play these games, but now I no longer need to buy an Xbox to play these games.
And what is an Xbox?
That's the other thing.
All the brand identity.
Yeah, they just got rid of the brand identity.
What is an Xbox? Like, what do you think of when you think of Xbox? Do you still think of Master Chief? Maybe.
That is the only guy.
That's the only guy.
That's the only guy they got left.
And it's a problem for Sony too. Like, what is a PlayStation at this point?
I think Sony is still more consistent. PlayStation is the thing you have when you want to invite your friends over and play 2K. PlayStation is the thing you have when it's the big white thing on your shelf that plays games.
Giant ugly box on your TV stand.
It has a much stronger, like Astrobot. It's got God of War. It's got Spider-Man. They have a way stronger identity than Xbox, which is just Master Chief, kinda, even though he's also on PlayStation now. And then like Steve from Minecraft.
No, for the whole story of the gaming industry over the past, since really like 2018, is just incredibly fascinating because it is so emblematic of literally every single thing wrong with like corporate America.
Yeah.
It's all short-term thinking, spend, mergers and acquisitions, lay off employees, increase revenue, stock price go up, and then they realized that they had all of this goodwill. Gaming was hotter than it had ever been in the late 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID happened, and that was the best thing that ever happened to the gaming industry.
Yeah.
And then they tanked it completely because they all saw Fortnite, and Fortnite was making a lot of money, and they put all of their development teams trying to make the next Fortnite.
And no one did.
And they poured all of this other money into developing hardware in a generation where having the most powerful hardware
didn't matter as nearly as much.
Yeah. It was insane.
And who came out on top?
Who came out on the top?
Nintendo. The only one of all of these, not even to innovate, but the only one to think long term ever. Nintendo, for all of their faults, and oh my god, we could get into their faults. Did you just see they freaking sued like a mom and pop card shop for like using a Pokeball after they just got robbed? Like, huh? We can throw poop at Nintendo all day long, but as a business, they are and will be the last bastion on the void of gaming once it is consumed by the black hole that has been rotting it for decades.
And a lot of that is their IP. But the reason that IP is so valuable is because they have strategically maintained it.
Yes. They actually care about making sure that it means something. And that when you buy a Mario game, you understand you are getting a certain level of quality.
And they never watered down that brand by releasing a game just to release a game.
I will say
maybe with some of the
during the 3DS era, they did that a little bit. Like, a little bit. New Super Mario Bros. Good God, we got enough New Super Mario Bros. Forever.
They never did what Activision does with Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Where every year they just put one out, and they didn't put any effort into it. They didn't think it through.
Because it has no identity now. Call of Duty means nothing.
Well, and like that waters down the brand.
Yeah.
The Call of Duty brand is it's meaningless. It doesn't, there's no standard of quality whatsoever. Nintendo maintained those core pillar franchises.
Like when a new Zelda game comes out, you're like, this is going to be a generational title. When a new Mario comes out, you're like, this is going to be great. When a new Pokemon title comes out, you go, this is going to be garbage, and I'm going to buy it anyway.
And they met the consumer where they were at.
Yeah.
They were like, who is our audience? Our audience is the casual gamer, the person who is not playing 40 hours of games a week, the person who occasionally picks up a thing, who has a busy life where they can go on the go, and we're going to meet them with games that are easy to understand, very playable, and a lot of fun, and stuff that they can play with their friends very easily. Microsoft and PlayStation really doubled down on these 80-hour, several $100 million games in an era where everyone has an attention span of 30 seconds, and no one wants to devote that amount of time to doing anything. Yeah. It was a complete strategic misstep.
And now Nintendo the Switch 2 has not been as big of a mover as I think they were hoping it would be, but they've also not really given us any reason to get a Switch 2 yet. I think Pokopia is the only Switch 2 exclusive. There's a couple others. No. That's like one of the only exclusives. Like that's the only one I think that's not on the Switch 1 that they've released of the new games. And that I think Donkey Kong, yeah, those are the only two that are actually exclusive to the Switch 2.
I think everyone expected progression from Switch 1 to 2 because the novelty had worn off.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens when they do the next generation.
Especially since we're going into another chip shortage.
But I just can't believe what they've done to that industry. I mean, the fact that PlayStation's solution, just to crap on them a little bit, their solution to PlayStation 5 sales being lower than 4, and for everyone complaining about there not being enough games, was to launch a $700 PlayStation 5 Pro with literally zero noticeable improvements on the base system.
Yeah.
And Xbox's solution, clearly, from what their staff hiring indicates, what direction they're leading into is, we're going to do AI now.
So
AI games.
I've been scrolling through the comments made by the CEO. Now, keep in mind, she has no track record so far. So take this
in gaming. Which you always want to hire them.
So take this with a grain of salt.
She's just eating grass or whatever, it's fine.
But she has said she doesn't want to do AI in games, which honestly, I don't even think that's really up to her at this point.
And also,
it doesn't really matter.
No, that's not true.
But she did respond to Xbox fans who were saying they want more console exclusives with a hear you. So again, this is very vague. This is not a lot to go off. Maybe we'll see some exclusives from Xbox. Who knows? We have very little to go off with her. She's only been here for like a day.
Of low risk.
Yeah.
They're going to do what all these companies do when they enter a tumultuous period. Cut costs and double down on what works. More Call of Duty, more live service crap, more Halo, more Gears of War, less risks, not as many exclusives because we need to make sure we're getting that revenue from PlayStation and Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
And we will try to integrate AI wherever we can so that we can lay off a couple more thousand employees from all these studios that we just bought if we then produce nothing. That's the plan. That's the game plan. I just like gaming should be dominating the culture right now. Everything was set up for it. Literally everything. And they didn't even drop the ball. They tripped. It fell onto their foot. It broke their foot, and they have not gotten.
They just overcommitted during COVID. They way overinvested. They assumed that this amount of growth was going to continue forever based on.
They saw everyone
nothing.
They saw everyone locked inside their house with nothing to do,
which
is the most conducive thing to people playing video games.
And they just assumed that would continue for some reason.
More people are going to do this tomorrow, and they're doing it today. Like they just
moron! Yeah. No, of course that will not continue. Are you stupid?
Correlation, causation. It is again. It's all that short-term thinking of like everyone's doing this right now, so they'll be doing it twice as much in 3 weeks.
And Xbox. We have no evidence that Xbox has ever really been profitable.
No, it was famously sold at a loss.
Yeah.
For its whole first generation.
PlayStation is probably profitable at this point. Unclear.
It was during the last generation.
Yeah. Nintendo, again, the only video game company that is not only profitable, but has enough cash on hand, not stock, not IP,
to sit up here.
but just straight up piles of money that they could continue to operate the company for, I think it's, what is the stat, like 7 years without making a single dollar. And they would be fine. Because Nintendo's the only and
hang on 1 second.
I see her. And I don't know exactly what it is about Nintendo that's made them so
I'll tell
almost
you,
doomsday preppy.
I'll tell you.
Is it the video game crash of '84?
No.
They're like still worried that might happen.
It's because what is Nintendo's core business?
Video games.
It's video games. Microsoft and Sony are these giant tech entities that do 85 other things, and the game division is just over here on the side.
Yeah.
And so the executives at the very top, they just pump money into it because they hear that gaming is really big. And they have no oversight of the strategy. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on in the market.
They don't even really care what's going on. Yeah.
And they don't. All they see is that this game is really big. Like they see Fortnite's really big. They
make more Fortnite.
Yeah, so they phone up the people who are at PlayStation.
Make more Roblox.
And are like, make thing like this, make big money, please. Here's $20 billion.
And I saw that there's a Roblox. Can we get another Roblox, please?
Like if you look at the three, that is obviously what's going on. Sony is a video game company that also makes televisions and owns a movie studio and like has several real estate holdings. Microsoft makes the software for every computer on the planet and gaming is a fun little thing they do on the side.
Yeah.
No, it's not a priority for them, so they're not putting in the actual strategic and monetary investment that those companies need to be successful for the future.
They just they have no concept of what a business strategy looks like in the gaming space.
No.
Because they're running Xbox like you would run just a regular tech company. Nintendo is the only video game company that runs their video game company like it's a company that makes video games.
Well, because they're the only one. Yeah, they're the only ones that look at it.
Because they're the only ones that actually need to make video games. They're the only ones
that are treating the market like what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, Microsoft literally decided that their strategy was they were going to treat the gaming market like it's the film and television business, and that was obviously not the same thing.
It isn't.
No, it's a completely different level of audience connection to the material.
Yeah.
And how they interact with it and the amount of time they spend doing it and what they choose to spend money on. Like it was a complete misstep. I don't think they'll ever get out of gaming completely. They've sunk too much money into it at this point. But
I think Xbox will die.
I think what will happen reevaluate what their strategy
is. They just rebrand as Microsoft Gaming. And Xbox becomes a service on Windows.
Yeah, and well, in the Xbox, they'll keep the logo.
Yeah, that'll be the Windows Gaming logo.
Yeah, as the little X.
And everyone will be like, why is it an X? And why is it a circle? And then some guy will be like, oh, when I was a kid, that was the Xbox logo. It was a
literal box.
And it was a box. And then the kid goes, well, why is it a circle? You shut up, Timmy.
Well, and
it was a box at one point.
But the other problem with buying up every other developer and every other studio is if this starts to sink and go under, you have nowhere to sell any of this crap to.
Yeah.
There's Sony, and then there's like a bunch of private equity groups that'll buy the IP and just sit on it.
And do nothing with it forever.
Yeah, and fire all the people. So like, yeah, you've cooked your own business. It's literally, they made a monopoly, or I guess an oligarchy, sort of. What do you call it when it's...
Oligopoly?
Yeah, they made an oligopoly.
That's when there's like only a few basically every industry is an oligopoly at this point, but... Gaming more than most, because there's literally only three companies.
Only three, and one of them is doing weirdo stuff in the corner in Japan.
Yeah, one of them is like just like on crack.
Yeah, and so there's just Sony and Microsoft, and they both lost to PC and Steam.
Which is
the real winner of the gaming of this era of gaming is Valve.
Yeah,
like if we're being honest, and like obviously that because. You know what was even more pro?
The meme of Gabe Newell just do nothing win is so insanely real.
Because you know what was way more pro-consumer than whatever Game Pass was?
Giving you cheap games.
Giving you a service that is super accessible, easy to use, and has a bunch of cheap, fun games that are very easy to play online multiplayer, which is what most gaming fans want.
And then when they see that they have a big indie space, they go, you know what? Here's a little machine that plays those games super good. In your hands all the time, and it's also sort of a PC again, sometimes.
I mean, I think what Steam proved was like, yeah, the hardware is not that important.
Yeah, well, and I think what is very interesting to me, especially right now, is the Valve Steam machine, because that is basically an Xbox.
Is that a home console they're doing?
So kind of. It's not out yet. They haven't announced the price yet because I think the RAM shortage has kind of messed up their plans.
And I'm sure it'll be very expensive.
Yeah, but it is basically just a Steam Deck on steroids that is parked next to your computer. Yeah. Which is great. That's a great idea. I like that idea. Xbox could have basically did that already, just in reverse. Whereas Steam launched a very, very cool store that is very, very pro-consumer in a very good deal and anyone can access it. Yeah. And then they made this little thing where, like, if you want to play it our way, here's our little thing you can play it on. Whereas Xbox was like, here's this device. Hypothetically, it can play games, and then we eventually made a store that's, like, pretty good, but, like, now what is this box for? Our store is kind of everywhere, but we still really want you to buy this box. We're kind of dependent on you buying this box.
Too many of the box.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very I would be interested to see if Steam replaces Xbox. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if there's enough.
I don't know.
I don't know if Steam wants to do that. I don't think Valve wants to do that.
I think Valve is perfectly happy where they're at.
Because they don't make that, like they make they're clearly interested in making hardware products, but they're always sold out. Well, and they don't seem particularly interested
in... And they don't market it.
Yeah.
To nearly the same degree. They're obviously not interested in like selling PlayStation numbers.
But they sell out anyway.
Yeah, but they're probably not making nearly.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, clearly, like, even without them pushing it basically not pushing it at all.
No, they
just make stuff that is a good deal, and then people buy it because it's a good deal.
They know there's a core audience that they're going after. They know their audience. They know what they want to play and how they like to play it, and that's what they're going.
Because they also are in the business of selling video games.
Who is Microsoft appealing to at this point?
People who have an Xbox.
Exactly. Like who is the player base? Like Nintendo, it's families, it's general audience.
Mm-hmm.
Steam, it's PC gamers,
mm-hmm.
people who like to play on their PC, who like playing indie games and trying new stuff. Sony, it's I guess still people who
NBA
like,
2K.
Well, like who like AAA, long form, high budget, story based.
Who want to play graphically intensive games on their
God of War,
TV.
Spider-Man 2. They cornered that market.
Their main thing is people who want a high quality gaming experience but don't want to do all the fiddling of a PC gamer.
Right.
Because PC gaming is very fiddly. You got to mess with the settings. You got to find the right store. You got to find the right thing. Yeah. Got to build the PC. PlayStation goes, no, shut up.
It's all for
Here's a box. It looks nice.
Yeah.
Spider-Man lives here. And then you go, great. Good.
Because
I'll take it.
If you go back through the history of Xbox, what they really innovated and the thing they were known for was Xbox Live. Back in the mid-2000s. They were the first company to really explore and implement and exploit online multiplayer as a feature. And they were really ahead of the game, and it really worked for them. And it established their whole identity for the Xbox 360 era.
They were the community.
They were if you want to play games online, you're on Xbox. But then that became everything. Our whole life is online. Our whole life is online now. That is not special at all.
And they didn't innovate in that space at all.
If they were smart, what they would have done is they would have gone out and bought Discord forever ago and
100%
and made that into Xbox Live.
No, actually not even. If they were really, really smart, they would have just integrated MSN Messenger into Xbox Live, made their own version of Discord, which would have been probably more successful anyway, because they had all of the mind share from basically the 90s until the mid 2010s.
Well, and they had way more money than Discord.
They have MSN Messenger, they had Skype, and they had Xbox Live. And never, at any point, did they think to combine these things. Why?
Well, and then they shuttered 2 of them.
Yeah, then they shut 2 of them down. Discord completely ate the entire online communications market, and now you have to submit your IDs to very shady companies in order to use it.
Yeah. No, it's insane. Like, it's because they leaned into the complete wrong thing. They were like, we should try to be Netflix, but for video games. Instead of why don't we be video games for video games? Why don't we see what Xbox is for video games? Let's be Xbox. Why don't we be the console for people who want to play multiplayer games? And let's have our in-company gaming developing, like our divisions, our developers. Why don't the big AAA exclusives we make be very high quality online multiplayer based games that really make good use of that community and that service? And you know what? And they didn't do that. Halo Infinite was that. That was a step in the right direction. The campaign was paid. The online was free. The online was actually pretty fun. But they just forgot that they made that game. After they just were like, oh yeah, shoot. I made Halo. You know why? Because they spent $1 billion on it, and then the sales weren't what they needed to be in the first 2 weeks, and they were like, done, get out of there, that's it. And even though they clearly intended it for it to be a live service game, they just forgot. Yeah. Because the way a live service game works is there's a massive upfront cost, then you recoup the cost over time through microtransactions. Fortnite beat them to what they should have been trying to do. Yeah. Like what Fortnite is what they should have tried to make like the Xbox exclusive game identity. That is what, which is an online community, but it's a game. But they didn't think about that. They were like, what if you could play Jet Set Radio? So when we say every company was trying to make Fortnite, it's not even that was Xbox's identity. They should have beat them to it. Yeah. There's no reason why they shouldn't have been able to do that. Epic Games was... Fortnite wasn't even Fortnite when it first came out. The Battle Royale was an accident. Yeah. Anyway, Sam, Any more gaming thoughts? Oh no, we have one more main news story, and then we can get to the Warner Brothers stuff. Some updates out of Sony Pictures. The heads of the animation department gave us some updates. K-pop Demon Hunters, they say, would have not been viable theatrically. They say it was only could have happened thanks to Netflix.
Still disagree with that assertion.
I think...
Case in point, Spider-Verse.
Yes, but the first Spider-Verse was not a huge hit.
It wasn't as a big...
And then it lived on Netflix for 3 years, and then the sequel came out, and then it was...
Exactly. But, like, there's no reason why it couldn't have done that.
I think...
It could have had, like... Even if it had, like, a middling theatrical opening, it still would have lived on Netflix and dominated for a very long time there.
I think K-pop...
It would not have had as explosive of an opening.
It would have been a phenomenon. It would have been a slower rollout.
Yeah.
Because what would have happened is it would have come out in theaters.
It would have done Spider-Verse.
It would have not done great.
Yeah.
But the people who saw it would have been really enthusiastic about it. And they would have been telling everyone they knew. And then it would have gone to Netflix. And then it would have exploded.
You know what? A better comparison might be Encanto.
Yeah. It would have been like Encanto.
Yeah.
And then it would have exploded. The music would have been everywhere. Everyone would have been really excited. And then Sony would be able to go... Let's make the sequel theatrical. And then if K-pop Demon Hunters 2 opened in theaters, it would make $150 million in its opening week.
Yeah.
It'd be a giant hit. It'd be like one of the biggest movies.
It'd be like if Encanto 2 came out.
But they sold it to Netflix ahead of time, and now they'll never see any of that money.
Yeah. Oops.
They said that the sequel will not be ready by 2029. So we're looking at least a 5-year turnaround.
Dude, what? How?
I kind of get it.
No, I don't get it.
No, I get it in that they thought this was nothing, and they were definitely had nothing planned or done on a sequel when this came out.
So
it's not like Spider-Verse where like
they clearly didn't have any idea for what Frozen 2 was going to be, and that had a faster turnaround.
Did it?
Yeah.
That was a 6-year turnaround.
That's way less than...
This would have been 5. This is like a 6. It's like the same amount of time.
Still.
It's not like Spider-Man, which also took 5 years. But
that was even dumber.
But it took like 4.5. But like that one, they probably went into that movie with like, this will probably get a sequel because comic book.
Yeah.
Movie. So they had some stuff done, like at least like drawings maybe. This was like, they thought this was just going to be...
Beyond the Spider-Verse has no excuse.
No, it doesn't. We will talk about that in a minute.
That's a part 1 movie, and they just never made part 2 ever.
Beyond the Spider-Verse, still moving ahead.
I bet it is.
On track for current release date.
Is it?
Apparently, and they were really like kind of talked around this, but I think it's pretty clear that a reason that movie got delayed for as long as it did was that Phil Lord and Chris Miller left to go direct Project Hail Mary for Amazon, and were like producing Spider-Verse from over here, just like sending emails. And they are famously very exacting and very improvisational and change a lot makes at the last minute.
Which is very inconducive to animated movies. Yeah.
So that makes some amount of sense. We'll see if it was worth it when Project Hail Mary comes out in March. I'm very excited.
I'm hearing a lot of good things.
I'm very... But the further I get into the book, the better. I'm like, this is freaking good. This is gonna get really good. Spinoffs for Spider-Punk and Spider-Gwen still happening.
No, they're not.
I think that the Spider-Punk one is further along.
So what does that mean? It's gonna come out in 2050 instead of 30 million years in the future.
Yeah, those will happen though.
Yeah, they'll happen one day. Because when we're 90.
The other part of this is that Sony Pictures Animation is really at the point where the only thing they put in theaters are Spider-Man stuff.
And Goat.
But Goat...
What even was that about? What the heck was that?
Apparently it's not bad. I haven't seen it yet.
I saw the clip of the horse singing, and I was like, I don't want to see this anymore.
That has been in the works since like 2018, and that was produced by Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And I think the only reason that one came out in theaters is because they wrote it in his contract like
that
6 years ago.
Yeah.
That it had to be. But like they're developing an animated Ghostbusters movie that's being sent straight to Netflix. That is exactly the kind of thing they would want. Ugh. That's animated. Ugh. It's IP.
Ugh.
But like, ugh. I know. Ugh. I don't care either. But like, in terms of like what should go to theaters, like IP thing, that you would think they would prioritize. But even that is like, that's the Netflix.
Yeah, they don't care.
Okay, this is interesting. Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein, who directed Final Destination Bloodlines, are directing an animated continuation of the Venom franchise. Tom Hardy is involved as a producer, and so is Kelly Marcel, who wrote all 3 of the live-action Venom films. There's no writer on this right now. They have a writer's room together, and they're working out the story. So
I don't hate that.
Venom,
I don't hate that.
Live-action movies are transitioning into an animated series.
I don't hate that at all.
I don't hate it either. I think it's kind of odd. I don't know why you wouldn't just keep doing...
Because now you can have Spider-Man in it.
True, that might be easier. I think it's also that Tom Hardy doesn't want to... He's like 50 now.
I don't think he wants to do it, but also now you can have Miles Morales in it. And if we're going to do Null...
That's true.
You're going to need a Spider-Man.
Way cheaper. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's, you know what?
This makes a lot of sense.
Props to Sony.
This actually makes a lot of sense.
Intelligent decision making.
This might be the first time they've ever done a thing that made sense.
Yeah, cool, because I think obviously they were planning on doing a whole Sinister Six debacle.
They have been trying to make a Sinister Six since the Amazing Spider-Man 2 credits thing, and it's never happened.
They had Morbius, Madam Web, and Kraven as consecutive bombs, and I think they're just like, this is not gonna ever work.
And you know what? I think as high quality animated movies, if they were like not written terribly, could have maybe even done fine on like Netflix.
For those characters?
Yeah. Because they're lesser known characters. Yeah. But they would have a much easier time finding their audience on Netflix. And if the writing was significantly better.
Not as absolutely.
And the animation was like at least pretty good.
Yeah.
Then I think that plan may have worked much better.
You can make them for way cheaper.
Yeah.
Than whatever Madam Web cost.
Yeah.
I think that made them them transitioning that to animation does make a lot of sense. Because it's way cheaper.
Especially Null, because Null's like a universal space god.
Tom Hardy is probably way more willing to record the voice from his car than he is to go on set and shoot in Bulgaria for 3 months or Hungary or whatever.
Venom is already an animated guy anyway. Yeah. He's a big blob man. That'll probably look really cool in animation too.
Right. You can get this. You could probably get the Spider-Verse versions to come in and.
That's what I'm saying. You can have Spider-Man and Gwen and
this can be the same
Spider-Punk show up.
Miles Morales.
Yeah, there's no reason why it can't. Yeah, probably is already, and they just have been pretending that they'll retcon that it was always the same universe.
Yeah, and those directors, and they got the Bloodlines was a big hit.
It's already all the same producers and stuff anyway.
Yeah, people liked that movie, so it makes sense to get these guys. It's a good fit.
Now, if they don't do that, I'll be very confused. Because why wouldn't you do that?
Do what?
Just chuck Miles in there.
I don't have to think there's going to be a Spider-Man thing, because I think they also know that people associate live action Spider-Man with MCU stuff, and cartoon is a different thing. Yeah, and so I think they know if it's the cartoon version and the Venom version in the Venom movie,
we can get away with that.
Just be able to.
There's a lot less competition.
There won't be
there.
Any crossover.
It will be a little weird that people are like, why do I have to watch 3 live action movies before this other Venom movie? But who cares?
Well, I'm also this is going to take a long time to come out because this is very early in its animation. So I'm assuming it'll be kind of a soft reboot thing, which is where Venom Last Dance left off.
But I saw the first hour of it.
Spoilers for Venom: The Last Dance. Eddie Brock thinks Venom is dead. He's a little goop thing and he's crawling around. He's fine. Yeah. But Eddie Brock and him have separated and he thinks he's dead and he's off in New York by himself. So we can probably do a whole movie where it's just Venom pairing with different people. Wouldn't that be
Agent
fun?
Venom.
Agent Venom. I think that was the direction they were going to try to go before they made this transition.
Yeah.
I think they were going to try to do that in live action. And that would not.
I'm glad. Agent Venom is always kind of stupid.
And because he's not Venom. He's just a guy.
The only version of it that I kind of thought was funny was the Ultimate Spider-Man one where Flash Thompson was
Agent Venom in the comics, but that only works if he's established as having been Peter Parker's bully. If there's no Peter Parker,
that doesn't make any sense. And didn't he also lose his legs in
he
World War III or something?
No,
and then
Iraq.
Yeah, and then Venom replaced him. That was kind of cool. That's an interesting idea. I don't hate Agent Venom. It's just I feel like he could be doing more interesting stuff.
It wouldn't work on its own.
Yeah.
They clarified Genndy Tartakovsky is not working on their upcoming animated original movie Buds, which is coming out theatrically in December 27th.
I would like to confirm that Steven Spielberg will not be directing the next McDonCast.
It was just because the interviewer asked him. But then they also hinted at that he is potentially involved in a 5th Hotel Transylvania. So that's probably in the pipe.
What? Are we doing 2D animated?
No.
Transylvania? Then why would he be involved?
Movie. But even then, they sent the fourth one to direct to Amazon Prime. So is this a thing? Would this have to go straight to streaming, even though it's
Would this one go straight to Netflix? Does Amazon have the rights to all of them,
or just
Amazon
that one?
Amazon
just has the rights to that one movie, but it's all a mess.
This is so dumb.
But these were all hits in theaters, and this is the fifth one. Like, you would put this in theaters.
Not if we can't get Adam Sandler back.
Maybe.
Because the last one
get him for the last one?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The last one they didn't get him back.
The last one was going to go theatrical,
but COVID happened, and last minute they pivoted to Prime.
Yeah. So they obviously didn't have a problem of doing it without him. And he says it was because of a scheduling conflict. I just think he didn't want to do it.
If you go to Netflix, though, you might be able to get him back because he's like, that's all he does now is Netflix stuff.
I think he would do it. What else is he doing?
He'll be Halloween 2.
Adam Sandler does not have like a...
He'll be Halloween 2, Waterboy 2. Has he made Waterboy 2 yet?
No, but...
Waterboy 2.
He was making Happy
Gilmore 2.
Yeah. Sometimes he'll do a
Little Nicky 2.
You joke, but like this is literally what he's doing in Netflix.
9 Crazy Nights.
Ooh. When's that animated sequel coming out? They also said they are currently not looking to implement Gen AI into their workflow, although...
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
I sure hope not, but I don't believe you.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to do some Warner Brothers Netflix sale stuff.
Warner Brothers Netflix sale stuff.
Okay, Sam. So we have, so far in our episode back, avoided talking at length about the WB Netflix sale, which has been the story.
The biggest media story the last couple months.
Yeah,
probably.
I mean, it's even breaking into mainstream political news. Everyone's got a take on it.
And guess what? So do we.
Yeah, we don't like it. We think it's bad either way.
There's no good outcome.
There's no good outcome here. The good outcome would be that
nothing good can happen. Can only bad happen.
Only bad happen. Top 10 quote by a president of all time.
Although he said nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen. This is nothing good can happen. It can only bad happen.
Either way, the good outcome is that whichever company, Paramount, Skydance, or Netflix, wins the bidding war, it gets struck down by the Department of Justice as being a monopoly, which it is. It clearly violates antitrust laws. Either way.
That's true. But also Disney and Fox should not have been allowed to merge either.
Yeah, it's the government, and it's two big corporations, and they just do whatever is asked of them by big corporations. So, whatever. I want to break down kind of where we were and where we're at.
Oh, whoa.
So, let me pull up my fact sheet here. So, basically, going back to the beginning, September 2025, David Ellison, son of Larry Ellison, richest man in the world,
owner of Oracle and TikTok and all of your personal data.
Yes. There is a great piece that ran a few weeks ago, probably about a month ago at this point, in the New Yorker about David Ellison. It's very long, but it's very interesting and it's very in depth. It's very good. Basically, what you need to know about David Ellison is he is the Nepo baby of all Nepo babies.
He's the God King of Nepo babies.
He was born to one of his father's 7 different wives, one of the dozens upon dozens of mistresses.
Yeah, Larry's the one who owns Oracle.
Larry's the one who owns Oracle.
David is just
Larry is his son.
The child.
Larry is one of his 3 known claimed children.
Of which there are likely dozens.
He was ignored by his father for most of his childhood. They bonded over their love of flying airplanes because when David was 9 years old, his father gifted him a fully functional aircraft because that's what you do when you're rich. And David always wanted to be in movies, and he initially tried to be an actor, but he was terrible at it. So he couldn't do that. And then he wanted to be a writer-director, but he was terrible at that, so he couldn't do it. But because his dad was a billionaire...
what he did have is unlimited money.
He'll go, Daddy, can you buy me a movie studio? So his daddy bought him and put together a studio called Skydance, who basically was just like a co-financer for a bunch of Mission Impossible movies for all the 2010s, and somehow acquired part of the rights to the Terminator IP. So,
which is notoriously difficult to negotiate.
Yeah, which is a whole mess on its own. But basically, he did that for 10 years, and then him and his dad came together one day in the early 2020s and said, hey, what if we owned all of the media and we used it to do whatever we want? And they were like, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So he went out and he bought Paramount for like $10 billion with his dad's money. And that's what he's been up to for a few months. Then September comes around, September last year, He goes, I want to own Warner Brothers too, and my dad will buy TikTok.
Because Paramount famously does not have a lot of big IPs.
They're one of the 5 major studios, but they're the runt of the litter.
Yeah.
It's them and there's Universal, Warner Brothers, and Disney.
Those are the big 3.
Those are the big boys. Those are the chads.
The top dogs.
The top dogs. And then Paramount and Sony are technically on the same level, but
let's be real.
Not really.
They're not sitting at the cool kids table.
But he bought Paramount, which is a second-rate studio. And the plan was he would then buy Warner Brothers, and his father would buy TikTok, and they would vertically integrate these things. So Warner Brothers, Paramount would join together and become this giant production conglomerate house that just spewed out movies and television.
Yes.
And then that would all be implemented into the TikTok algorithm.
Which they would use to promote all their shows.
Would feed people their shows, and all of that would be one big thing. He starts his bidding war with Warner Brothers, where he just starts unprompted offering them money for the company. He goes, I'll buy this all your studios and your streamers and all of your old crappy cable networks that no one wants, but still are technically where most of the money comes from. Because as we talked about last year on the show when they announced it, Warner Brothers was planning on splitting into 2 companies.
Okay, also flashing back a little farther, Warner Brothers just recently merged with Discovery
back in 2022.
Yes. And I say recently because that was just the last big merger.
The history of Warner Brothers as a corporation from its inception is just being passed around from different corporate owner to different corporate owner.
When we first started this show, they were a subsidiary of AT&T.
They had just been acquired by AT&T.
AT&T, after a few months, was like, this was a bad idea. No money. Why did we do this? I don't want to own Time Warner Cable anymore. So it was called AT&T Uverse at the time. So they sold it to nobody, and they became their own thing for a while. And then they were their own thing for a good while there. And then they were like, hey, we're super broke. Does anyone want to buy us? And then Discovery was like, yeah, why not? So Discovery bought them. And then Discovery was like, oh, wait, these guys still suck at making money.
Well, let's
split into 2 different companies again.
Well, just to give you a little more detail. So what happened was Comcast, many years ago, acquired Universal.
Yeah.
And had integrated their broadband business with the movie studio and TV networks in a pretty successful fashion.
Yes.
Comcast was doing pretty well. So AT&T came along and were like, we could probably do the same
thing. We could do that too.
So they acquired Warner Brothers. It was a massive disaster. It didn't work. It cost tens of billions of dollars. It was not working out for them. They went to Discovery, who at the time was a very big company, but their whole business model was based on cable television.
Yes.
Which was quickly in decline.
They're the kings of slop.
They own TLC and HGTV and Discovery Channel.
They make all the slop.
They make the cheap. They make all that cheap, crappy cable programming that just floods the market because something has to be on television.
Yes, but they are the kings of slop.
But they do it better than anyone else.
No one makes slop like TLC.
Right. But they merged those 2 companies, and they went like $70 billion in debt.
Yes.
And David Zaslav, who ran Discovery, became CEO of the new joint company. And the original mission for him, from the conception in 2022, was scrap this company for parts, streamline, cut, get as much, try to get out of debt as much as possible, and then flip this company to someone else, and everyone on the board will make a bunch of money. That was always the plan. So David Ellison came along and did that a little bit earlier than Warner Brothers was planning. Warner Brothers was originally planning to flip the company in like 2020.
You guys know David Ellison has been our boogeyman for a good while.
Or David Zaslav.
David Zaslav was our boogeyman.
The evil Davids.
Now we've moved on to David. He's the new boogeyman.
Yes.
But the old boogeyman David was
still bad and evil. They wanted to flip it a little bit later. They wanted to make sure they wanted to get the streaming service and the studio kind of more in gear. But David Ellison came to them early and just started offering them money. And so they were just like, we have no other choice. If they're going to keep raising their bid, it's our duty to our shareholders to
they legally have they have
hear them out.
A fiduciary responsibility. They legally have to at a certain point.
So at the end of September, they were just like, Warner Brothers is for sale. Anyone who wants to offer money for Warner Brothers, be our guest. So 3 companies came to the table: Netflix, Comcast, and Paramount. Everyone assumed Paramount would just win. Paramount has the funding of the richest man in the world, who has hundreds of billions of dollars. They have this ambitious millennial executive who wants to remake the entire entertainment business.
And also importantly, they both have incredibly close ties to Trump, which is important if you want your deal to be approved by the FCC.
Larry Ellison is a noted and longtime Republican backer of candidates. David less so, but he just does whatever his father asks.
Yeah.
And they've especially in recent years become very cozy with the Trump family. So that was their pitch. Comcast was never really seriously considered. They didn't have the money.
They didn't really make a serious offer.
And Netflix, they were somewhat of a serious contender, but people didn't expect them to win because Netflix had never done an acquisition of this size before.
Or have they really done any major acquisitions before this?
Not really. This would have been like
this would have been the first time they really went all in on a studio. Which honestly, it's about time. Yeah. I don't know why they haven't. They are honestly probably up there with Sony, Disney, and Comcast, all those big companies at this point.
So all three of these companies, they spent all of October, November bidding, raising the price, fighting with each other, trying to get Warner Brothers on board with an acquisition. December 4th rolls around. In the middle of the night, Bloomberg reports that Netflix has entered exclusive talks with Warner Brothers Discovery to acquire the streaming and studios portion of the company.
And Netflix goes so far as to announce on their Twitter page that they have...
And it's a done deal.
Yeah, that they have finalized the deal.
It's in paper. Netflix is going to pay $27.75 a share for the streaming and studios side of the company. They're going to pay $82 billion around total to get HBO, HBO Max, the movie studio, the library, the thousands of movies and shows from over the 100-year history of Warner Brothers, which is the most important thing.
Yes.
And the big IP that they have, Lord of the Rings, Batman, Harry Potter.
All that stuff.
The cable networks, they're going to spin off on their own as planned, and they will just be out there as their own independently traded company for someone to stupidly buy stock in until it dies.
Yes.
And the merger is going to go through as soon as those things are split off. So Paramount, who obviously started this whole process and wanted to get this company really bad, they throw a fit. David Ellison starts doing interviews in the press about how this was unfair when they didn't give me what I wanted.
I didn't get a fair chance.
Daddy needs to come in and give me more money to get what I want.
Larry, more money. Money, please.
Money, please. He threatens to sue. They start a hostile takeover bid, which is basically when you go straight to the shareholders themselves.
It's when you go and you flop your balls on the table and you go, I'll give you $1 bajillion if you give me the company right now.
Paramount ups their offer to $30 a share for the whole company. Paramount wants the valuable assets, the streaming and studios, and the cable networks. They want everything because they just want to have as much as they possibly can.
Yes.
So their offer is valued at slightly over $100 billion. They're offering the same thing that Netflix is offering for the streaming and studios, plus like $4 for the networks by share.
Mm-hmm.
So they think that, they think the network portion of the company is worth like $4 a share, which is probably worth less than that if we're being real.
Yeah.
So they go ahead with their hostile takeover. A couple of minor things are revised in between December and now. Because Paramount's is all cash, Netflix changes their bid to all cash. It was originally a mix of cash and stock. The board wants all cash, as most boards do during an acquisition.
Cash is always better.
Warner's insists that Netflix is a better deal for them. Less of their employees will be laid off as a result, and that Paramount's financing for their bid is super shady, which is true. Paramount, despite Larry Ellison claiming to be the richest man in the world, is financing their deal with a bunch of random private equity groups and Jared Kushner and also Saudi sovereign wealth funds and the Chinese government. There's a bunch of just kind of weird shadowy entities feeding the Ellisons money to acquire this company. Warner Brothers says no. Netflix has all this money. We know where Netflix money comes from. It's a clean deal. Netflix doesn't own a third-party television production company like Warner Brothers does. They don't have a premier television brand like HBO, and they don't own a full movie studio, lot, marketing department, all the things that Warner Brothers has that would presumably, if Netflix were to acquire the company, they wouldn't have to go in and purge all of those employees because unlike Paramount, who already has all that set up, they wouldn't have to go in and find quote-unquote synergies to go clean house. So that is all relevant information here. the most recent part of the story is that on February 11th, Paramount submitted, I believe, their 9th bid to the shareholders in their hostile takeover attempt. They're offering $30 a share, all cash, which hasn't gone up. So they're still at 30.
We have a live addition to the story as well when you finish.
Give me 1 second. Larry Ellison has personally guaranteed to be financing 100% of the deal. They agreed to pay Netflix $2.8 billion to break up the acquisition as planned. And so because Paramount revised their deal, Warner Brothers is granting them a 7-day window to negotiate a potential deal. If Warner Brothers doesn't like it after 7 days, they're going to back out and they're still going to stick with Netflix and Netflix's $82.7 billion deal. What is the breaking news?
So this just happened, just now. Trump has taken to Truth Social to demand that Suzanne Rice be fired from Netflix's board of directors.
Oh, you mean Condoleezza Rice?
No, Suzanne.
Is it Suzanne?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Former UN ambassador, Suzanne Rice. Yes. Which, while she went on a podcast and talked about how too many corporations were taking a knee, bending a knee to the Trump administration, and for the sake of short-term gain, which triggered a reaction from Donald Trump, who seems to be very upset that she is on the Netflix board of directors, which will likely impact any kind of deal they make.
Yeah. So a big part of this whole deal is the politics of it all.
Yes.
So Paramount believes that their deal will more easily pass a Department of Justice antitrust review because they are not nearly as big of a company on paper as Netflix, because they are a lot friendlier with the Trump administration. Traditionally, the Department of Justice would act independently of the White House, and whatever the president thinks wouldn't really factor into decision making. With the way that the current administration has restructured the government in a lot of ways to be more favorable to the president personally, basically every department in the federal government just does whatever Trump wants whenever he asks, or they act independently to please him and get his attention. So there is a thinking behind the scenes that Netflix needs to cater to the Trump administration in order to pass DOJ review and make him happy. So obviously he wants to have Susan Rice fired from the board.
Yes, he's going to demand concessions from Netflix.
He's going to demand concessions from both of them.
Yes.
The Ellisons have already agreed to basically get rid of everyone at CNN once they acquire Warner Brothers.
Which they recently, during their CBS, was it CBS that they bought?
Yes, they own CBS News.
They recently merged with CBS and agreed to fire their editorial board and replace it with
Barry Weiss.
Barry Weiss.
Has no experience in journalism.
And has basically just been a stenographer for the administration.
She runs a right-wing clickbait news website.
Yeah.
And now she's in charge of CBS
Now she's in charge
News.
of one of the biggest news organizations in the world.
So that is part of it. And everyone's been talking about this. People have been saying that Paramount really wants to acquire Warner Brothers because they want to own CNN. And they want to own CBS News and CNN, and these two big news corporations. The Ellisons could not give two craps about CNN. They really don't. CNN is a non...
No, they're using that as a point of leverage to get the deal done, to make it seem more appealing to Trump.
They would literally... CNN, no one watches. It's barely worth anything as a brand. The ratings are terrible because all broadcast ratings are terrible.
Yeah.
They're not an important factor of that company at all. They're not worth anything. And if Netflix were to acquire Warner Brothers, CNN would be part of the global networks company spun off on its own. So either way, even if David Ellison doesn't acquire Warner Brothers, he could still go buy CNN if he really wanted it. Either way, if he feels like he wants to have CNN, he'll just go get it. It's not a factor to him. What the Ellisons really care about is owning as much IP as possible and owning a massive library. That is what is important to them, is getting HBO Max, getting everything on HBO Max, and being able to vertically integrate it with TikTok because they think that'll make them the most money. That is their end goal. the political aspect for them is really an afterthought. It's a means to an end. As everyone who's profiled and reported on the Ellisons over the past couple of months, now that they've been in the news so much, they don't really have hard set political beliefs. They're opportunists.
No, they are here to make as much money as possible, and they will cater to whoever they need to in order to achieve that end.
Like all billionaires and people who run massive corporations, politicians are temporary. Money is forever. They're here for the money. They'll say and do whatever
unless your employees unionize, which is why you should kill them if they try to do that.
Whatever they need to say and do to get as much money as possible.
That's a joke, by the way.
They will do.
Don't kill your employees.
Don't kill your employees. It has been reported that the only thing they really care about is Israel. Like they're really big into.
That's their main like Israel. Actual ideological background. We know that was part of the reason why Larry was so
CBS News.
Yeah. Well, that was part of why Larry was so committed to ownership of TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok famously was previously owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company. And generally speaking, China is also incredibly authoritarian when it comes to speech, what can and cannot be said online. However, every country is far less interested in censorship of other countries than they are of their own people. Mm-hmm. So TikTok was famously very hands-off when it came to what they did and didn't care about being said on their platform in other countries outside of China.
Right.
Larry Ellison did not like that they were so lax when it came to speech around Israel and Palestine. Yes. And so he sought to purchase it more or less for the sole purpose of eliminating that. Not for the sole purpose, but that was something he hit a lot.
If they have political
that was something he was very frustrated with.
If that family has any political motivations around any of what they're doing, that is what it is related to. But again, it's like an 80-20 split. That is a benefit to them, is that if they can make this stuff a little bit more friendly to Israel. The main thing is Larry Ellison owns Oracle.
Yes, which is a data harvesting company.
It's a data harvesting company.
TikTok is the best at harvesting data.
And using that data to sell you stuff. So the whole idea is we'll take all of this data we have from Oracle, we'll feed it into the TikTok algorithm, and we'll feed all of this movies and television we now own into that algorithm. And we will pump the average everyday person scrolling on TikTok on their phone
with whatever show we think exactly
specifically catered movies and shows for them to like and watch, and we'll pump that into the streaming service, and they'll pay a monthly fee to watch that show, and it'll be a big circle, and it's infinite money forever. That is the idea.
Yeah.
Infinite money and influence, control what everyone thinks. Awesome, great for them. Netflix's motivations are a little different. Netflix has about 400 million subscribers worldwide.
Yes.
They've been stuck around that number for a couple years.
Yes.
They're not growing.
It is the assumption, it is my opinion and the assumption of most that they have reached the limit of what they are capable of achieving numbers-wise.
One of the biggest companies in tech, and they're the biggest company in Hollywood. They're insanely profitable. But they require exponential growth in order for the line to go up.
Everything has to grow forever.
Because of the way this is not opinion. This is just how it is. The principles of capitalism require that every company is constantly growing. You're either growing or you're in decline. There's no in between.
Yes.
So in order for Netflix to continue,
or at least that is how investors will view it.
Yes, that is what the shareholders view it as.
Which is ultimately the greatest
Which is the most important thing. That's what makes all the decisions at the end of the day. So Netflix, in order to continue to grow, now needs to move into the mergers and acquisition phase. So they have decided that their real market is not subscribers, it's people's attention. How long are you spending, how much time are you spending on Netflix? And the best way to ensure you're spending as much time on Netflix as possible is to have all of the movies and television physically possible in existence.
On your platform.
So they are acquiring Warner Brothers because they have internal data that Warner Brothers movies and television does very, very well on their service. And if they were able to exclusively have all the Warner Brothers library only on Netflix, and they would also be able to acquire the number 4 streaming service.
And we're talking all the DC stuff. We're talking Game of Thrones. We're talking Harry Potter.
Lord of the
Rings. We're talking Lord of the Rings.
Ocean's
we're talking
11, Barbie.
Huge properties.
Decades of Turner Classic Movies. Casablanca.
We're not talking Paramount.
Singing in the Rain.
We're not talking freaking Top Gun.
Tom and Jerry.
We're talking real big boy IPs.
Dexter's Lab. 100 years of some of the most iconic and famous and influential art.
Warner Brothers is second only to Disney when it comes to IP.
Yes. That is what they're acquiring this for. Netflix's argument they're making in court for why being by about 400 million subs, the biggest subscription media company on the planet.
By far. The second, they have
unquestionable monopoly.
They have like 40% of the market, and then the next biggest player has like 7 or 8%. I think that's what it was last time we checked.
I can Google Netflix ownership of streaming market.
I believe they have like 40 to 43% was what the report was that we read either a year or so ago.
So they have 20% currently.
20%. Okay, never mind. That's very wrong.
Video market, streaming video on demand. If they were to acquire it, if they were to acquire HBO Max, that would put them over 30%.
Okay.
So they'd own a 30% over 30% of the streaming video on demand market, which is an unquestionable antitrust issue. However, they claim to only be like 7% because YouTube, if you factor in YouTube is like 65 to 70%. The question is...
It's not a terrible argument.
And the question that will determine their entire legal case is that, is Netflix in the same business as Disney and Paramount and Amazon? Or are they in the same business as YouTube? And they're saying that they're in the, quote,
tougher
spending time business. And that Netflix isn't... They're literally saying, I'm not joking, this is what, if Ted Sarandos just did an interview on The Town, Matt Bellany's podcast, It's about 40 minutes long. If you want to go listen to it, you can. I'll link it in the description. They are making the case that Netflix doesn't compete with other movies and television companies. They compete with any other way you spend your time that is not active on the Netflix app.
I mean, you could make that argument as literally any company ever.
Is
McDonald's competing with the amount of time you spend at work?
If the Department of Justice and Congress approves this merger on those grounds, that quite literally opens the floodgates for any company on the planet to acquire a monopoly in their sector, because as long as there is technically something else you could be doing, they don't have a monopoly. Just as an act of comparison.
The Fox-Disney merger, their basis was that you can't have a monopoly on intellectual property because you can always make up another idea, which was already an absurd statement to make, an absurd argument. But even that, I would say, has a more competent, cohesive story than this.
Basically, what that would mean is that if Pizza Hut tomorrow decided to go buy Domino's and Papa John's and Marco's Pizza, and
we're not in the pizza business. We're in the eating and they were to have sustenance business.
100% of the pizza market cornered, and they went to the court, to the Department of Justice, and said, "Well, we don't have a monopoly because you technically could go to Target and buy a can of beans, and that's still food. So that's the same thing." That is what Netflix is making their argument on. They're saying that
that is absurd.
We make video content that people watch, and YouTube and Instagram Reels also make video content that people watch. So that's the same thing. That's the same market, even though it's clearly not. And Ted Sarandos, he specifically points to 2 examples when he says that they're the same market. He says that, well, YouTube went out and acquired the Oscars, as if that is in any way comparable to spending hundreds of billions of dollars on an annual basis to producing professionally made movies and television.
Yeah, that is an absurd statement.
An absurd contention. Like, you could maybe make that argument if Netflix had a user-generated content platform, because you could at least say, well, we're trying to get into the same space, we're just not the same size.
I mean, There is enough there that you like, because YouTube did produce some TV shows that Netflix has since acquired.
Right.
With specifically Cobra Kai being the biggest of those. However, you could also make the case that the fact that they flopped on YouTube and Netflix had to buy them in order to save them is evident that clearly those markets are not the same. YouTube tried to be that and didn't work because they are working in a different market.
Right. And how much of engagement on YouTube's platform was from those types of that type of content?
Yeah, almost very nothing. Little. Yeah.
The vast, like, if you ask Ted Sarandos right now, he's saying us right here talking on YouTube.
That's the same as Game of Thrones.
Is competing with Netflix. It's just not. This is a different thing.
No, you're not watching this instead of Netflix.
No one's watching. Because
you're watching this instead of listening to nothing.
But you know what you are watching YouTube instead of? You're watching YouTube instead of going on Instagram.
Yeah. Like it's a social media company.
Industry. The social media industry and the entertainment business are two separate things.
Now, you can make the case YouTube has professionalized over its existence, and it has grown more similar to traditional programming as time has gone on. Most big YouTube videos are around that 30 to 20 minute mark. They all have sponsors. They all have ad segments. They're hosted by TV person. Some of them literally TV personalities. Some of them personalities that are homegrown from YouTube. YouTube specifically is tough, but
the difference is that what is YouTube at the end of the day? YouTube is a video hosting website.
Yeah, it's very different.
They don't make a whole lot of anything.
They don't, dude. I don't think they make anything anymore. Period.
They give you a platform,
aside from blog posts,
and people post stuff on it.
Yeah,
that's it. And they run ads on that stuff, and they make money off the ads. But they don't. They're not producing content. The 60% of whatever viewership that YouTube posts, 59.999% of that is stuff they didn't make and they don't even know exists.
Yeah.
Netflix, they don't make a large portion of the quantity on that service, but they are actively going out and paying money to acquire that stuff for a short period of time. YouTube is not paying anyone to make anything. They're in completely different businesses. It'd be like if you're gonna,
well, I mean, they're paying people through the AdSense program.
But is that that is an incentive program. That's not like if I go out and
they're not paying you beforehand.
They're not paying you money to make the thing. You're making the thing, and they're giving you money.
Yeah,
like it's a little bit different.
It's the other way around. Yes. You're making stuff, and then you might get money as a result.
I've been up a long time. I'm very tired.
Yeah,
I'm trying to verbalize this.
They're not paying you for the content you're producing beforehand. You're not pitching them a show.
No.
Then they greenlight it. Then they produce it.
YouTube doesn't even know what's on their platform.
No.
They're a completely different market. Netflix has a master list somewhere of every show and movie on that platform. Yeah. YouTube doesn't have anything.
I mean, I'm sure technically there is a list, but it's like got several billion items, and so it is a fundamentally different beast altogether.
But the other part of this is if we're factoring all online video as being in the same category as Netflix, is Netflix competing with Instagram? Are they competing with Twitter?
Are they competing with TikTok?
Are they competing with like Pornhub? Like, is that the same?
I guess,
industry?
yeah.
Yeah. So like,
actually, I would argue that they have infinitely more in common with Pornhub than they do with YouTube.
Can we say that on YouTube? We're not monetized.
I mean, like at least like porn has like production.
No, but
like they have directors, and I assume there's a guy writing what they're supposed to say.
Any video you watch online in any fashion at that point, are they competing with Netflix? If you go to Amazon.com and are like shopping for towels, and the product listing has a short video of someone folding it up on it or whatever, is that competing
Netflix?
With Netflix?
Is that Netflix?
Where does this stop? Like, is it just infinite? At that point, can you have a share of the market at all?
Does the market even?
The market doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Is the internet. But you can't have a monopoly over the internet the same way you can have a monopoly, or like you can't argue that you're competing with the internet the same way you can't argue that you're competing with every other store in existence by having a store.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that sounds complicated.
Like, you're competing with a specific type of service. You're not competing with services as a concept.
Within a market.
Yeah.
If you own a haircut place, you're competing with everyone else in the haircut business.
Not everyone else with a business.
You're not competing with the Taco Bell across the street. Yeah. It's a different thing.
Because your argument is, well, they could go to Taco Bell instead. Yeah. It's like, no, those are not the same thing. Well, they got to eat. They got to get their hair cut. No.
Because that is the thing, is it's like, are you going, when you open YouTube, are you opening YouTube in the same way that you're opening Netflix and that you're looking for similar content? You're not. When you open Netflix.
I mean, I don't even know. I think it might be a reason. Like, you might be opening them for the same reason. You're opening them to, like,
I'm bored.
Yeah.
The same reason is I'm bored. But you could also go eat mac and cheese because you're bored. That is everything. Like the
Again, you're competing with services as conceptually rather than a market.
Netflix is arguing that they're competing with the concept of another company. That's insane. That is wild. That would literally be like,
but it doesn't matter.
Owning all the beer companies because
their argument doesn't matter.
A frisbee.
Their argument is a pretext in order to have a case, in order to be up for nomination. It does not actually. What are you doing? Oh, okay. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. So what you were saying is that it doesn't matter anyway because they'll prove it, and you're correct.
Yeah. The whatever argument they make doesn't really matter. The argument is a pretext because they legally have to come up with something to say when they make a proposal. But really, they just need something to have on the paper, and then the government will just arbitrarily decide based on how much they like the companies whether or not they want them to merge.
Well, he testified before Congress the other day, and it was an absolute...
Ted Sarandos?
Yes, it was an absolute clown show.
Yeah.
It was literally just... It was Ted Cruz being like, are we on stolen land right now?
Yeah.
And it was Josh Hawley being like, hey, this show is too woke. Why'd you make that? Like, it's literally like... Because these guys don't care. These guys...
Clown country.
Are mostly old. Most of them don't understand even what Netflix is or how it works. And they will do whatever the big corporations pay them to do. So what they have to get out of this is just culture war victories. So what they want from both Paramount and Netflix...
Yeah, they just want a clip to go viral on Twitter.
They want a clip package to put on Twitter. And they want some absolutely meaningless, just brazen conforming to whatever they ask for. They want lip service.
They want concessions.
They want them to pay tribute.
Yeah.
They want them to pay tribute on the altar of our dear Lord and Savior Donald Trump. And they want them to apologize for their wokeness, and then they'll just approve them and they get to go on. Like, that is all they care about.
Yeah.
So even if this argument is literally the most singly absurd,
it doesn't matter. It's not that the argument is irrelevant.
It's completely irrelevant. But the other part of this that everyone is talking about is the movie theater aspect. Is that it's just either way,
it's over.
Either way, it's very bad for movie theaters. And what Netflix has been going around saying is a couple of things.
They announced actually formally what their plan is. Not that long
sort
ago.
of. Because it was on that interview with Matt Bellany, and I'll talk about that in a second. But what Netflix has been really selling their deal on is that because Warner Brothers and Netflix don't have a lot of overlap in terms of what they have logistically, there won't be nearly as many layoffs as opposed to a Paramount merger where there'd be all these duplications and positions. Either way, thousands of people will lose their jobs in the movie theater industry.
Yes.
If Netflix buys Warner Brothers, even if they put all the Warner Brothers movies in theaters for 45 days, for 3 years.
Which is their current proposal.
Which is what they're saying.
And that it would go to VOD shortly thereafter.
But he also said he wouldn't put that in writing. So
that means nothing.
It means nothing. And also, all of the Warner Brothers movies currently on the slate through 2028 have contracts signed that they have to do that. So he's not saying anything. He's just saying that they will honor the contracts they've already signed so they don't get sued.
Yeah.
He's not promising any actual plan for what the model will be. Either way, Netflix's job, its mission, what its business is keeping people on the service. Movie theaters are, again, if it's competing in a war for attention, movie theaters are competition. So their goal will be to slowly pull Warner Brothers movies out of theaters which accounts for like 20% of the domestic box office on a yearly basis, if not more, which will be a death blow to theaters. What Paramount is saying is that Warner Brothers will continue to make the same amount of movies they currently do, even if they're owned by Paramount. That is also a lie. That's not happening. We know that's not happening because he also said Paramount would make twice as many movies as it did before, and they're just not. Like, it's all a massive
there's
lie.
No way that is even remotely possible.
Because movie theaters, the movie business, the creative business, television, all of that, none of that is important to them. What is important to them is the technology. He is getting people to subscribe and spend as much time as physically possible on their services, feeding the algorithm, consuming content. Doesn't matter what type of content it is. Doesn't matter if it's movies or television or reality TV or video podcasts or AI generated slop. As long as they're on the service and they're consuming things, that is the business. So either way, this is horrible for theaters.
Yeah, there's no good
outcome in any way. The only person this works out for maybe is David Zaslav. It definitely works out for David Zaslav.
Yeah, he makes a lot of money.
Because he makes a lot of money, and then now he can go leap on the board of another company and drive that into the ground.
He is in heads I win, tails you lose mode. It doesn't matter if he wins or loses, who buys the company. If no one buys the company, it doesn't matter to him.
Because let's be real. If we look at the history of previous media mergers, whatever company acquires this, it's going to end up in disaster.
Yeah.
Whenever two companies of this size merge and try to get it to work, it doesn't ever happens. What would happen if a Netflix deal were to go through is that they would try to run that company separate for a couple of years. They would realize it just doesn't make sense and it doesn't work and it's dragging down the stock price.
Netflix has less redundancies because they don't do as much in-house stuff.
They don't have a movie studio.
Yeah.
And they don't have an independent television company. Warner Brothers makes a lot of money through Warner Brothers Television, which goes out and makes shows for all these different platforms.
Yeah.
Like Ted Lasso is on Apple, but it's made by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Like that's how they make a lot of money.
Because they know how to make the shows.
Netflix, everything Netflix makes is for Netflix. They don't license anything out. So that would be a change to their model. But if Warner Brothers Television is making stuff for other services, is that helping Netflix? Not really. If they're going out and making movies for theaters and that movie bombs, that's not a very good look for Netflix. That would cause the stock price to go down. So why are we doing this? Because at the end of the day, the goal
you could Tombstone Productions it and just be like, that's some other guy. I don't know that guy.
But even then, like, is the advantage of we have a mildly profitable theatrical business worth the
It depends on how they publicize it. Because if they just say nothing and pretend like Warner Brothers is separate, even though it's not, that doesn't really matter as much.
Maybe, but then that is true, but that is also
it's like 20th Century Studios.
That is fixing a problem you don't have to have. Like, why do any of that?
Because you have less competition.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because if you're still feeding movies to theaters, which is keeping Disney and Universal afloat,
HBO Max is competing with Netflix. They're right. That is an actual thing that they're competing against. Now they're not.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. But again, it's keeping the other stuff going. Is like if we put
you also get exclusivity of all Warner Brothers content,
which is the main
which
thing.
You could license out, but they likely wouldn't. Not most of it.
They will license out some stuff.
They will license out like the cable TV shows to Hulu and like to that kind of stuff.
They'll do occasional things.
But all the stuff that is worth stuff will stay on HBO Max and on Netflix. You also now don't have to worry about you can distinguish your brands. You can have like the stuff that actually is intended for human beings to watch on HBO Max. You can put your slop on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Now you own now you have all the parts.
Yeah, because the other part of it is he's saying that HBO will continue to run independently. I believe him partially.
I believe, at least initially, yes.
I don't think they're going to touch the actual people who run HBO and like what HBO
Not
makes.
The TV production themselves, no.
Because why do that? It doesn't just let them keep, because what they do works, so like why touch it?
Yeah.
What they will touch is HBO Max as a service, because why would you even want that?
HBO Max will run as a separate service for about 3 years. After a while, it will become a section on Netflix.
If you'd like to see an example of that happening, Hulu,
Disney and Hulu, exact same situation.
Hulu is going away by the end of this year. It's just going to be folded.
And it'll just become a tab on Disney Plus.
Yeah, same with HBO.
And once that happens, then you will likely see more meddling on Netflix's production side of the actual HBO producers themselves. You'll see more second screen mandate type stuff, and eventually that'll just kind of fade away, and it'll just all be Netflix. But that's much farther out.
And they'll demand more. They'll go, why aren't we making 25 Game of Thrones shows?
Yeah, where's Game of Thrones season 1 billion?
Yeah, why are you using AI in the Lanterns?
Why isn't? Yeah, where's the AI Daenerys? Where'd she go? Put her back. Bring her back.
Bring her back. AI Batman. Yeah, it's all bad. Everything sucks.
Do they still own the rights to like Defenders and stuff? Is that
No.
Do they don't have any of that?
No, that's all on Disney Plus.
But there's a version of
Daredevil comes back in like 4 weeks.
Yeah, there is a hypothetical reality where Daredevil and Batman have a crossover show on Netflix.
That would be something, wouldn't it?
It sure would.
Sure would. Yeah, no, this is I don't even know, man. I don't like what are we doing here?
We're just ending it.
We are. Honestly,
the game is quickly coming to a close.
It's awful and it feels awful, but I also feel like we're going to run this whole thing through the crapper and we're going to make everything suck so bad that it'll have to figure itself out and come back better.
Like, does it? Or does it just suck and then it's over?
Maybe it just sucks and then it's over. But the AI panic thing I am concerned about for the next 20 years. I think there will be a thing where it's like we will flood the market with so much slop,
or
that people won't even watch anything.
Is the Chinese century upon us? Are we in a very Chinese time? Does China just take over?
Maybe.
Do they start making stuff that appeals to the West and then just eat the entire market?
Well, because the other part of this is that Netflix, once they acquire HBO Max and have just unabashedly won the streaming war and there's no competition, they will jack the price up to like $50, $60, $70 a month. Because why not?
Because China's biggest limiting factor materially in terms of trade is the fact that they only have access to like one part of one ocean. Whereas the US has like the whole ocean. We can use all the ocean, whatever part of the ocean we want. That's why we can just move stuff wherever we want all the time. You don't have to worry about that
on the internet.
On the internet. You can just take over immediately.
No, I think you're onto something. I think you're onto something that like people are in more niche subcultures now.
TikTok was the biggest social media thing ever.
That was China.
And that was China. There's nothing stopping them from just making TikTok 2 and calling it Talk Tick. And then everyone just moves to that.
Yeah, I think there is something to the idea that like Netflix's monopoly they're pursuing is built for an era where there is a monoculture.
Yeah.
Where you would need to subscribe to Netflix to watch
movies. Netflix is the last dying flame of the monoculture.
Yeah, but we're living
at least in terms of media.
We're living in an era now where it's the niche. Everything is niche. Like everyone is in their own little corner with their little thing, and it's super small and specific to them, and they get it in the way they get it, and they don't really care about anything else.
Yeah.
Like, so is there something to the idea of like Netflix will become this all-consuming film television behemoth, but then everyone else will just be like, all right, well, I'm really into like Danish soap operas, so I'll just go watch Danish soap operas over here, and I'll be on my phone and I'll read books or whatever.
Or does Netflix just host all of this stuff?
Or does Netflix get all of it?
Yeah.
And at that point, the riots start. And the proletariat rises.
Then the revolution that Marx predicted occurs. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's the end of this.
No, I'm joking obviously about Netflix, but
yeah.
I mean, we are entering the era of like there's like 6 companies that own everything, and like that isn't sustainable even for the companies themselves.
Yeah.
The market is functioning on capitalism as a principle. But capitalism is built for competition. Like
it doesn't work without competition.
Yeah, even if you get to the point where that's not happening, like stuff will start to fall apart.
No, you just have like feudalism with Ted Sarandos instead of Lord Ethelred the Orange. Like,
and then I think like there will be a point where there will be people who try to compete, and I don't know what that would look like, but it's interesting.
Very, very interesting time.
I mean, in terms of like for regular people, this is really not bad in the short term, it will be bad
in the short term. It doesn't matter, but like it will eventually crumble.
Like, when Netflix, and I think Netflix will come out of this the winner. I don't think Paramount's going to throw a fit and do whatever they want, but they're not going to get this.
The only way I could see Paramount winning this right now is if Trump steps in and puts his hand on the scale.
But even then, like,
but he doesn't like them enough.
He can tell the DOJ to do, like, but he can't. He couldn't just sign. I mean, he would probably try. I don't even know.
He could make or break this deal. He would
probably just sign it.
He has the power to make or break this deal, but
does he care?
I don't know if he cares enough. Yeah.
I don't think he does, because he doesn't watch movies and TV.
No, like, I'm sure like someone in his cabinet
And
was
he's
like,
80.
Netflix is woke and gay, and so it's lame, and so he might be like, oh, well, that's
But even
lame.
then,
I don't
like,
want that. But like, I don't think he cares enough regardless.
The people around him, the right-wing influencers, and like the Howard Lutnicks, the Laura Loomers, they care about the culture war stuff. Trump has historically, and if you watch him,
he will entertain it, but it's never been a main goal.
It has never been a concern for him.
Yeah,
like he doesn't.
He'll fan the flames because he knows it gets people riled up, but he doesn't actually care at all.
So, I mean, he literally, when he talks about transgenderism as an issue, he
doesn't even know what it is.
Like, transgender for everybody.
Yeah, he just knows that if he says the word, people get mad.
He doesn't care. Like, so he'll put a truth out about someone on the Netflix board he doesn't like. But if it requires him to step in and like make a case, get these people to do this thing,
he won't put work towards it.
He won't, because he doesn't care.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think Netflix will go through. They'll get it. For your average person, it won't change really anything for 2 or 3 years. And then you will see when the movie theaters start to close and Netflix starts going up in price and your options decrease.
That's when people will get frustrated.
Because what Netflix is selling this on to your average consumer is you'll have more options. And in the short term, that's true.
No, that's not even true. The truth is you'll just have the same options.
Well, no, but you'll be able to watch. You'll have different options for what you can watch on Netflix.
Yeah, but that's like
that is what they're selling you. But in a few years, you'll have fewer options.
And Netflix will cost $80 a month.
Yeah, Netflix will cost $80 a month, and you won't be able to go to the theater or watch traditional TV or be able to afford any other streaming services. So then you are out of options. Then it's just whatever enough. And I mean, we see these streamers every single time. They launch with this massive catalog, and then they slowly jack up the price and they peel away content. Like, what are you doing? What's that?
Oh, this nothing. That's not don't worry about what that is.
But they'll peel away content, and Netflix will be more expensive than it's ever been, with fewer things to watch and with more ads and more AI slop. I have not heard once, unrelated to what you're talking I have not heard once Ted Sarandos or like literally any of these CEOs even come up with an idea for how they would prevent piracy, and it's really baffling to me. Have you ever noticed that? They don't talk about it ever.
Because it hasn't been a problem for them.
But it's got to be a problem.
I'll explain. It's exactly what Gabe Newell said, because Gabe is always correct most of the time. Piracy is a service problem.
Yeah.
Netflix was the solution to that problem for a very long time. I think so long that they have gotten comfortable kind of writing that off. But since 2022, I think internet piracy has gone up by 200%.
Yeah, it's at an all-time high. I mean,
largely because of the constant price increases and mergers.
I don't want to send anyone to jail, but like, there's literally a person. I don't know anyone who hasn't pirated something at some point. Like, I'm not even joking.
Yeah, because it is, while they were sleeping, it has only gotten easier to pirate content.
Because these companies are set up and still thinking about piracy as like a guy selling bootleg DVDs in the corner. They're not thinking about the fact that literally anyone can get a 4K HD perfect pristine copy of anything posted on a streaming service and put it up for free on the internet for someone to very easily find and access.
Yeah.
They don't even think about that because they're just old and they don't know how
well, but it also hasn't, because Netflix was cheap enough.
Yeah.
That most people, it made sense.
Yeah.
I would rather pay $10-15 a month
for the convenience.
For the convenience of not having to deal with all the ads and all the tabs and all the
laptop up to the TV
and all
jailbreaking stuff.
All the shenanigans that comes with trying to pirate stuff. It's easier if just Netflix just works and I pay $10 and it's great. It's a service problem. Mm-hmm. As the service gets worse, piracy gets more convenient by comparison. And we're reaching a point now, especially when it comes to trying to hunt down your show, when it comes to paying for it, when it comes to the constant interruptions from the ads in a world where TV is no longer shot to have ad breaks. Yet we have we've thrown them back in and not gone back to planning for that.
Well, and
it only makes more and more sense.
Never designed for ad breaks.
Yeah. It only makes more and more sense. And as your fist squeezes tighter and tighter and tighter, more and more slips through the cracks between your fingers.
Yeah. This is true. Like, pirating television wasn't a huge problem 20 years ago. Because if you wanted your friend to watch a show, you were just like, it's on this channel.
Yeah.
And they just watched it.
Yeah.
Now you have to explain what it is, what season it's on, and what streaming service it's on, and then they go, I don't have that one, and you go, oh, okay, well, figure it out.
All right, well, guess we're just not going to do that. Yeah, okay.
It's crazy. It's just crazy the fact that, like, before, if you wanted to talk about television with someone, you were just like, have you seen this show? And they'd be like, no. And you just go, oh, you should watch it. It's on this.
And I think
they were able to do it.
I think another aspect of this that has kind of snuck up on them was that the anime community was born and raised on the 7 Seas. There was no other way for the longest time until Crunchyroll came out, and then they crapped their pants in record time. They were the first streaming service to just drive straight off the cliff.
Sony
and the anime community, which was already incredibly okay with and savvy when it came to piracy, went right back to it. And as the popularity of anime increased, so too did the knowing of how to get there.
Yeah, well, and who is the primary, like, anime for young people is the mainstream culture.
Yeah.
Like, and who is, at the end of the day, the audience you're supposed to be going after? It's young people. So all these young people have averted from your business and have strategically set themselves up to never have to buy stuff from you, and you made them do that because you weren't looking at anime as what it is.
Yeah, one, you weren't paying attention to what they wanted to watch,
and two, you were actively designing your service to cater to older people when they are not your long-term business, like your long-term target. Because like who has...
Well, because at the time, that was the target.
Yeah.
Most TV was old people watching TV.
Yeah.
And that's still most of the base is like 40 to 60, whatever. That's most of who watches the most TV. We know that from CW and how that went. But they, I think, are wholly unprepared for the next generation of TV consumers. And I don't know if there's a way to fix that before they just implode.
No, it's all gonna, again, I think there's going to be an implosion. The industry is headed for like nuclear level disaster where we're pretty much just gonna hit the reset button.
Well, and again, that is the whole point of antitrust laws.
Yeah.
The entire reason we did any of those is because we were worried if all of American industry is dependent on 3 companies and one of them goes out of business, so does America. And then at some point we were like, it's fine probably. Let's just not think about it.
But my name
and now every time AWS goes down, I can't do my job. I work for the school.
That's not important at all. No, but like, you know, I'm Ted Cruz and CBS let me have a set tour of CSI. So I guess I'm doing whatever they want. Like, that's just how it works. We're ruled by people and people are flawed. And people who run for public office are, by and large,
are just wholly incapable of fixing anything ever.
Well, and just like by the nature of running for office, like you have to be obsessed with yourself to even think that you can do that. So,
but like, why not?
They're all so.
Why not be obsessed with yourself because you're confident in your ability to like do things?
Well, because this guy says I'm cool and I could have a lot of money.
But on Twitter, they think I'm awesome.
On Twitter, they think I'm a Chad. I'm Chad.
So cool. I'm so cool on Twitter.
Should we talk about Clavicular?
I'm frame mogging.
Is that a real thing? I don't think that's real.
So I actually.
By the way, that's the end of the proper show. We're in the McDonCast After Dark.
Yeah, McDonCast random tangent hour. I have been keeping tabs on this guy for a long time.
You've been doing reconnaissance.
Much like old Nick J. I was ahead of the curve. I was keeping I sniffed his stink coming from a good long while away. And I was like, this guy might be important later.
No, okay. But like, I don't think he is.
So here's what happened.
I don't think anyone's watching Clavicular to watch Clavicular. I think they're watching him because everyone's talking about the fact that people are watching him.
But that's how it always starts.
Like who's watching?
That is how it always starts with these people.
Yeah.
Every time. Again, case in point, Big Nick, right? Everyone was like, "Oh, who's this freaking crazy Nazi guy? He's saying crazy Nazi stuff."
Right.
Now he is arguably the second largest voice in like that content sphere.
Mm-hmm.
He started off as a guy on, I don't remember what the acronym stands for. No. He predates Kick by quite a while.
Oh. Isn't he like 20 years old?
He's 20 years old, yeah. He was on, I don't remember what the acronym stands for, but it was basically like this forum that was dedicated to coming up with objective metrics for rating women so that we can say that they are mathematically ugly.
I'm glad that human technology and culture has not surpassed the level of two cavemen going like, oh, when a hot woman walks by.
Yeah, it was that. It was lookism, which is briefly put an ideology that is completely focused on how you look and nothing else matters. And then there was also like bodybuilding and a couple other things that were kind of like roped into these series of forums.
It's the old certain types of people are genetically superior to other people thing.
That is a component of it, but it is that through the least optimistic lens. It's, I am not one of those people, therefore I should just become an absolute freakazoid internet monster.
Husk of a human being.
Yeah, so he was an incredibly popular figure on these forums for his advice that he would give on like making yourself look hotter, take these steroids to look hotter. He became most famous for bone smashing,
which is when you hit your face
where you hit your face with a hammer in order to make the bones bigger, which is, by the way, not how that works. As much as they will try and tell you that that's how it works, it isn't. And then from there, he became like a streamer, and he's only gotten bigger the last little bit. He had his biggest moment in the sun when he said that he's kind of in like a right-wing space. He kind of hangs out with the Andrew Tates, the Nick Fuenteses, the
Manosphere adjacent.
The Manosphere guys,
because
the Sneakos, all those guys.
Because if you're online consuming content about how there's certain structures in your face you need to have to make women sleep with you.
Yeah, and that women are android robots who will have sex with anything above a score of 7 or whatever their worldview is.
They couldn't just be other people.
No, they're not people. They're female. That's what they call them, foids. Anyway,
it's even worse when it's someone your own age. It's even worse when it's like directly your peers.
Yeah. So he got his big moment in the sun when he said he would vote for Gavin Newsom over JD Vance because Gavin Newsom mogs. For those of you who don't know, mogging is when your hotness score, I don't remember what their acronym for it is. If they're
listening to this, they know more about this than I do. You don't need to explain it.
Well, I'm telling you as well. It's when your hotness score is, I believe, 2 levels above the other person in the room. That's when you mog them. You're like so much hotter than them that they're not there anymore. Now. Yeah, Cena's frame mogging is when it happens on the internet, or you get the idea.
So if you just get traditional mog,
you're like there with them.
But like there not necessarily be a record of that.
It
has to be framed.
Don't think too hard about it. And so clearly they've been thinking too much about this. So he had this he got invited on Michael Knowles. Michael Knowles was like, "Why would you say that? Do I mog?" And he's like, "No, you're like ugly
Michael
and
Knowles,
old."
If ChatGPT made a right-wing podcast host,
it'd be Michael Knowles. And so he went on Michael Knowles, and Michael Knowles was like, "Hey man, that's messed up. Don't you think there's other things that are more important?" And he's like, "No, being hot is the only important thing." And he's like, "Well, you heard it here first, folks." That's what he says. And that's kind of the base underlying principle for his entire worldview, which is like, to give him some credit, he's very consistent with his worldview. He does genuinely believe that. It's just that his worldview is horrific and wrong.
Well, and he doesn't have a worldview.
No, that is his worldview.
No, I'm saying he believes that, but like he is not a person. Like that guy is. I'm not even.
Well, he's probably going to go to jail for possession of meth.
That's crazy.
Because he microdoses meth.
Do you think
to stay slim?
Do you think he'll get frame mogged by the other prisoners?
So he got frame mogged by an ASU frat leader. Yeah,
I saw the tweet.
Which has been a big ongoing saga.
That was the thing that blew it up into like non.
That's when it became like it's become like brain rot, where people just say like words from these forums. And it is funny if you know what it means, which is sad if you know what it means. Now he's probably just going to go to jail for the meth. That's basically where we're at right now. He's also infertile from the amount of like steroids and stuff that he's on. He also said that he would rather have his balls cut off than his hair, because his hair is more important to his looks than his penis and his balls.
Okay.
Yeah, he said that on he went on like a left-leaning podcast
we
guy.
We should shut down the internet.
Yeah, it's over. We're good. Wrap it up.
We're good.
Wrap it up.
We don't need it.
We're good. We did it. We tried it.
It didn't work.
Let's go back.
Failure on our part.
Yep.
Al Gore, it's your fault.
Al Gore, it's your fault. Just like everything else.
All right. Anything you've been watching? Anything you've been watching that you think is good? People should check out.
I've been rewatching Evangelion with a couple friends. Definitely everyone should watch that. That's just like something everyone should watch at some point in their life. It's not a particularly easy thing to watch. The beginning first like 20 or so episodes is pretty like standard. Actually, it's a very high quality like mecha anime. Like it's very well animated. It's very good. As it goes on, it gets weirder. That's when it gets more interesting in my opinion. Has it
gotten better on a rewatch?
Every time
Is it easier to understand now that you have the complete narrative? It
doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Because the lore is not the point of the show.
You say it's more of like a feeling of an experience.
Yeah, and every time you rewatch it, you will come away with something else because of where you are in your life at that point.
It's like a David Lynch film.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it is. I mean, the guy who directed it is the same guy who did Godzilla -1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he made, there's I think 6 Evangelion.
Did you just fart?
Dang, Cena just ripped a massive fart. I forgot what I was saying.
So loud.
That was so loud. Goodness. Okay.
Hang on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna let her out. I need to go to the bathroom.
You go potty? Go on. Which actually, he just announced that he's making another movie, another Evangelion movie.
In addition to -0?
So -0 is the next Godzilla movie. He's been working on that.
It's coming out this year.
Evangelion is a complete work. This movie is like an alternate ending to the last movie he made. The last movie was, I believe he made. Obviously, there's the first Evangelion, the show. Mm-hmm. Then there's Evangelion Death Squared, which is just a recap of the show. Mm-hmm. Then there's Evangelion, the End of Evangelion, which is the actual ending that they wanted to do for the show, but they ran out of money the first time when they did the show, which is why the last 2 episodes are like very kind of abstract. And then there was Evangelion 1.0, which was a modern remake of the first part of the show. Then that one had a sequel called Evangelion 1.0 plus 2.0, which was a continuation of that remake, but it goes in a different direction. It's kind of an alternate thing. As he got older, he decided he wanted to change certain things about it.
So there's one narrative, but he keeps reiterating.
He keeps changing it over time. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, the last one was 1.0 plus 4.0, which was supposed to be like his final say. Right. He didn't really want to do anymore. Then he decided today that he was like, maybe one more. Just one more. Well, I'll just do one more.
You know what I've been watching, Sam?
What's that?
I've been watching The Pit.
Oh.
You know what's great?
The Pit?
Pit.
That's great.
The Pit's awesome. You should watch The Pit.
I will eventually. What's it on?
It's on HBO.
Okay, yeah, I'll watch it eventually.
Season 2, halfway through. Just great stuff, man. If you just love watching people be competent and do their job well, like that is The Pit. The Pit is people who are very, very good at their jobs and very compassionate, just using teamwork and solving problems. And it's great, and I love it. And Dr. Robbie's the GOAT. I'm really scared for when he's going to bash his skull open later on in the season.
I haven't finished Percy Jackson yet, but I'm almost done with it.
I wrapped up a while ago.
I have like an episode or 2 yet.
How far are you into it?
I'm on episode 8.
Okay, so you're on the finale.
Yeah, I'm like 10 minutes into episode 8.
Do you think it's better than the first season? Because I don't think it's like leagues better, but I think it's marginal improvement. I think the writing has been a lot more consistent.
Yes, it is definitely more consistent.
Because
I think the scale is a lot smaller than the first season.
The budget is clearly like
been
factoring
diminished
into the creative process.
Like Polyphemus' island was so lame.
Yes. And
where's the theme park? Wasn't there supposed to be a theme park?
Yes, and there is a big part of the end of the book that they just do not do in the finale. Yeah,
and also they did use the fleece on Kronos, which if I remember, I thought that was a book. I thought that was a movie only thing.
It's been a minute since I read Sea of Monsters, but
because I remember in the movie when I saw the movie,
the intention. I don't know if they ever do it in the.
Because when I saw the movie, I remember being like, "That's weird. That wasn't supposed to happen yet."
Yeah. Well, no, they resurrect him fully in the movie, and there's an action scene.
Yeah.
They don't do that in the show.
Yeah, but I didn't think that they used the fleece on him at all in the book. It's been a very long time since I reread it, but I remember when I watched the movie, I was very put off by that scene.
I believe that's they're about to.
Also, the fleece looks so lame, dude. It looked way cooler in the movie.
No, but
it's just book, like a ball of fuzz.
In the book, that's more similar to what it's described.
It's like a mop.
It's supposed to be like super not like noticeable. Like it's just kind of a rug.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Annabeth's fake out death, was that in the book?
Yes.
Okay, I just didn't remember that.
Yeah,
that was fine.
What'd you think about the change with Cersei? Where she's just capturing random people? Because in the book, it's all like she captures the men.
Yeah,
and her islands they changed it for the show.
I don't really know why. I don't care.
Is that a problematic thing?
I don't care. I don't care about that. It makes no difference to me.
Well, and like at the end of that part of the book, like her whole thing gets destroyed in the show. It's fine. Like it's on.
I wonder if they want to revisit that location later.
Well, she comes back in Labyrinth, I believe. She comes back in one of the other books. I can't remember if it's 3 or 4, but
maybe. I think she comes back in Heroes of Olympus.
Because
they use the Labyrinth a lot in Heroes of Olympus.
Yeah, I think she comes back in Labyrinth, so.
Because the Labyrinth is just
it'll change.
Yeah, such a random.
Whatever happens in the book.
You can just teleport anywhere through that thing.
That might be the cheapest season to do, because that is just all the volume, baby.
Yeah.
Just that big. Just have them run around in that one set.
I don't know how I feel about Talia. She seems kind of lame in this one.
Well, they made a big change.
Yeah, I don't think I like the change they did. She just seems lamer now.
Yeah. I think it's also like a we got a nerd.
Yeah, but like no you don't.
Well, for budget.
Yeah, but no. Cuz like if this gets to the end you're gonna have to get it's gonna get crazy.
I read an interview with the showrunner, and he said they changed it because they thought it'd be more interesting if there's like, if the audience thinks there is a better chance she does end up siding with Luke, and like you do have that cliffhanger thing of like, where is she gonna land?
That's dumb.
We all know where
dumb.
She is. And to do the ending of the book, she can't. So
dumb.
How are they gonna do Last Olympian?
I don't know.
That whole book is them running around in New York
It's
City.
a massive. It's basically Avengers.
Yeah, like
and if we do Heroes of Olympus, can we even do that?
They're not going to do Heroes.
That's the best part, though. That's the coolest part.
No, they can't. It'd get too expensive too, because by that point,
they'd be the right age for it.
They'd be the right age, but they'd have to pay them.
So
they're kids now. They're cheap as crap.
We were able to do Game of Thrones. Every time people say that, we can't do it. We were able to do Game of Thrones.
That's true, but if you watch Game of Thrones, 90% of Game of Thrones is people in period outfits sitting in a room talking. Like Heroes of Olympus is like 18 characters riding around on a flying boat with like Goat Man, and they're like fighting gods.
We can do that.
No, you can't. Not on a
yes,
TV
we
budget.
can.
You could do that in Avengers.
I believe.
No, I think they should try to do movies for those. I think that would be a better approach.
Yeah, I just don't know how you do that because those books are also much longer.
Yeah, that'd be the problem.
Anyway,
anything? Was I watching? Oh yeah,
Wonder Man was really good.
Yeah, good. I wish there's more of it, but I think it's.
I really liked what they did with the finale.
I did too.
I like
that it was just a story about two guys being bros.
Yeah, I like how he breaks him out of jail. Yeah. Now they get to be bros for season 2, I guess.
Is he gonna be in the fight pile? You think?
I don't know. He's kind of OP.
For those who don't know, the fight pile is what we call
That's what Avengers is going to be. Yeah.
Every character who's ever existed.
At some point, everyone will be in a fight pile.
Be in a big fight pile.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
He'll definitely be a little PNG in the background.
He's way more accurate to his powers in the comics, which is bad because he's like stupidly OP.
He's very powerful.
I thought they were going to nerf him quite a bit, but he's very stupidly OP.
Yeah, they didn't nerf him, but they also didn't completely define what he
They
can do
say
with
at
them.
the end when he's breaking into the prison that he can like manipulate matter, which is what he does.
But if they want to in the next thing, they can be like, oh, if he does it too hard, he'll pass out or whatever.
He faints or something.
Or they'll just do what they did with Sentry, where it's just
I like that
he can't do it. He can't do it now.
I can't. What's his name? The old guy.
Trevor.
I like that Trevor like brought back the Mandarin character to to bail him out. I thought that was really cute. I think that's a really smart use of that character too.
Yeah. What I really appreciate about the show is that like so many MCU projects, it's clear that before the creatives are even brought on board, they're just saddled with some stuff.
Yeah.
Like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The people who came onto that show, they were probably like, you have to use Zemo and Sharon Carter and all this stuff, and you just got to put it together into a thing.
Try to make it work. Yeah.
With Wonder Man, they were like, well, it's set in the acting world, and the only other MCU actor character
is this guy.
So you got to put him in there. And they actually came up with a really great way.
They work him in so perfectly. It doesn't work without him.
Where it is the heart of the show. Yeah. Is those two, and that is real. That is some really great.
I do. I kind of. It sucks that the weird thing from Shang-Chi wasn't there.
Oh, his little
I feel like his thing should have been there.
Would have been too expensive.
There was like the only VFX was whenever he like exploded.
But you know what? They probably paid a lot of money.
You don't have to have him on screen all the time. Maybe like one scene where he goes home and he's like pets him or something.
They were shooting in LA. That ain't cheap.
I watched Love LA a while ago though.
Yeah, you did. You said you liked it.
It was pretty good. I thought it was fun.
I saw the pilot and I was like, maybe.
The first episode's the worst episode by far.
That's what
it gets.
I think Rachel
so much better immediately.
Said that she was like, just stick with us
because they all suck in the first episode, and then they have a lot more heart to them. And actually, the gay stylist character, he actually has like a really touching arc that I actually really liked.
I really like him because he was on a show called English Teacher. That was on Hulu that got canceled, and the creator might be a sex pervert, but.
Because I guess you probably don't care that much, but
he was really great on that show. He plays basically the same character.
He gets roped into this like kind of Christian men's group, And you kind of think at first, like, oh, this is going to be...
like a lampooning.
Yeah. But no, like, they're actually, like, really supportive, and they, like, really, like, help each other out. And then eventually one of them ends up passing away. And, like, this group chat where they talk about, like, trying to, like, stay clean of their, like, porn addiction ends up being, like, a real source of, like community for him. It's really, actually really sweet.
That's great. I will check. I think I will check it out. Definitely before they do season 2, which I don't know when that would happen.
Yeah,
comedy shows, man.
They need it. That's a show that needs to get a season 2 very quickly. You can't
have 12
drag your feet on that.
The air every August. Like, you cannot be dilly-dallying for 3. You can't Mythic Quest that thing
because it's basically
taking 3 years for no reason.
It's basically opposite Seinfeld. It's what if Seinfeld, but they were all just happy and nice, except for when they don't get along.
Did you see Sunny is already filming its new season?
No,
that's a fast turnaround for them.
They always do. They're always pretty quick.
Well, but they've been on a 2-year gap thing recently, and this would be a 1 year.
But this, I think they said, is their last season, right?
They haven't said it officially, but I think it is.
Probably is.
I think they're ready to go, and I think Danny DeVito's using a worker now.
My suspicion is that they will just go until Danny DeVito just cannot do it anymore.
I think they're going to try to wrap it up sooner rather than later.
See,
and
they shouldn't have done the Danny DeVito death fake out thing last season. They should have waited until like he actually can't be in the show anymore and then do that.
I think they're also just ready to wrap it up. And Rob McElhenney's turned into Ryan Reynolds himself, and
he's been hit with the Ryan beam.
Yeah, he's owning soccer teams, whatever. Caitlin Olsen's got that ABC show.
Okay, let's not pretend like she has anything going on.
No, dude, that thing is like the most watched television show.
What even is that?
High Potential. She plays like a mom who solves crimes. It's the most watched network TV show.
What are you talking about?
There's a whole other world out there.
What do you mean there's a show where the mom solves crimes and it's the highest viewed show on television? What are you talking about?
It's the type of show Wyatt would watch.
God, that's such coworker television. I guarantee you if I brought that up at work on Monday, they'd be like, oh, I love that show.
Yeah. It's like, did they watch The Rookie?
Yes, I know 2 of them do.
Yeah, it's that type of thing. Anyway, all right, let's wrap this up.
I got one of them to watch Andor though. I got
they like it?
Yeah, she's like 60. She like really liked it.
Andor.
So good. Great. She was real. So she didn't like that. He didn't get to see the baby. But I was like, that's the point.
Yeah,
that's how it is.
Oh, she like finished it.
Yeah.
She watched the whole thing.
And then watched Rogue One afterwards. Like, she was, like, in it. She's part of the rebellion now.
Star Wars Goodwill. Mandalorian.
Yeah, I know. I hope it... Best case scenario, it's like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
And it doesn't put anyone off, but it doesn't move the needle. And it's just fine.
Best case scenario is it's like...
I want it to just be fine.
75% on Rotten Tomatoes.
If it can be slightly better than Solo, I'll be fine.
Makes $546
or honestly,
million.
just be as good as Solo. Solo's not that bad. It's just nothing.
And it's hard to see.
Yeah, and it's
so
like
dark.
But this doesn't seem to share that problem. It does look very well framed, at least from the trailer.
Because Jon Favreau knows how to make movies. The problem is that does he care about this one at all?
I think he still has a little bit of love for The Mandalorian.
I think he does want to give it like a good old send-off. Because he's spent so long doing it now at this point.
This was his guy. This is his Star Wars guy. This was his
life for like 10 years.
He's always wanted a Star Wars guy. He got his Star Wars guy. Now he's saying goodbye to his Star Wars guy.
I just want him to go off and make another tiny little movie.
Do another Chef.
Don't make Chef
2.
I wouldn't mind a Chef 2.
I wouldn't mind Chef 2. It would never happen because Robert Downey Jr. is way too expensive. But
he would do it for cheap. He would do it for his boy.
For his boy Rob.
Yeah. He asked for $100 million for Avengers. He'll do the Jon Favreau movie for $2.
Yeah.
Free. He's got the Oscar now. Why? He can do whatever he wants. All right, let's wrap it up. We'll be back next week.
Do we have any last minute news?
We're going to cover the whole first season of Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We're going to talk about that in a little bit more depth. Any other news that drops during the week we will cover. Pokemon Gen 15, whatever they're on.
Gen 10.
Will be announced next week.
And it's the 30th anniversary. And we didn't talk about this. Fire Red and Leaf Green are on the... you can buy them now.
Barely a news story.
No, but what do you think about the price?
What is it?
$20.
Too much.
Too much?
We'll talk about that next week. And then Scream 7 is coming up. So we're going to talk about that too. I think that's in a couple.
Got some more Hopper stuff. Right.
Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. See you later.
Bye-bye. Oh, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles release date got moved.
Great. It got moved up.
Bye-bye.